I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business.
And weather, time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, it's 6:21 and a nice little, pretty nice little start to the morning this morning. Clear skies out there and 51 degrees. Not bad. We'll talk about a few interesting things coming out of Syracuse basketball I want to get into. Thursday Night Football is tonight. We have that right here. Is that right?
Yes, 7:30 we start. It's Jacksonville, New Orleans. I'd be curious what Wayne and Richard thought, because the last I saw, Jacksonville is either giving a point or laying a point. I just think they're a much better team than New Orleans. I could be wrong, though. Richard's going to tell me to do my due diligence.
He might say that. That is possible. We'll talk with Congressman Brandon Williams today. I don't know if you watched any of the vote yesterday, but Jim Jordan is actually going in the other direction now.
Yeah.
He's losing votes. And in the interviews that I saw afterwards, Republicans are saying, especially those moderate Republicans, more I don't know what to call them. Some are very conservative, but they're traditional conservatives. They're not mega conservatives. They're not Jim Jordan conservatives. They may have been somebody far more McCarthy was far more palatable for them. In fact, that just keeps being thrown around that maybe you got to bring McCarthy back. That could happen.
But he doesn't have the votes, does he? I mean, unless some of those Republicans who voted him out.
Here's the problem. No one has the votes right now.
Yeah.
No one. There's no one that both sides can agree on. That's a problem.
It's not possible that the Jeffries guy, Akeem Jeffries, would get the.
He got more votes by I think I forget, maybe 8 or 10 more votes than Jordan got yesterday.
If a handful of Republicans decided to support him.
Never happened.
No, well, it doesn't look like they're going to get a Republican though. I mean, they can't agree on a Republican.
I guess it could be possible to find somebody that the Republicans and the Democrats would agree on, with the exception of the Jim Jordan group and the Gates group. That is possible, but I don't know that that's probable. Talking to Ryan Nobles yesterday, he doesn't see any way out right now. So the only thing that might happen is the current acting speaker would be given additional powers, and legislation could be introduced, and that sort of thing. Stuff could get done. You may see that happen going forward, but Jordan is going in the other direction, and the Republicans yesterday giving interviews were saying it's going to be if he brings it back up to a vote today, it's going to get worse. So he has more defectors after yesterday's vote. So what do? Meanwhile, the Democrats, who, by the way, played a role in this, they've all voted against McCarthy, and they've all voted against every one of these. they're just sitting there enjoying and relishing, not thinking about the country, but relishing in the dysfunction of the Republican Party right now. So it is a mess. Responsibility on all sides. They never should have removed McCarthy, and we wouldn't be in this mess.
We'll talk with Brandon Williams coming up later this morning.
Williams, who voted for Scalise, of course, was a big McCarthy supporter, voted for Scalise, and has now voted for Jordan. I don't know how he voted yesterday. I believe he voted again yesterday for Jordan. But, he's a freshman. He's, we'll see what he says today. But we'll speak with him in the 7 o'clock hour. Also this morning, Andrea Heath on the zoo. And we know that it was a female zookeeper, an employee at the zoo, who was bitten the other day by one of the lions. She received hospital treatment and then was released. So it seems like it was I don't want to say not a serious injury, but certainly a surviving injury. The Utica Zoo said the female staff member was bitten by one of its male African lions during a routine feeding and closing procedure. It happened on Tuesday afternoon. The worker was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries, released later on in the day. At no time was the public, this is a statement that we have, the public or any other staff at risk, and the lions did not at any time have access outside of their enclosure. Also, there's no euthanizing the lion because of this.
No.
I wonder if this was a... You know how
you can't watch. They're going to turn off his Netflix shows though through the weekend.
Well, he won't be able to work for. Is it Paramount? What's the one that has the lion? Sorry, you're going to have to. We're going to freeze your royalties coming in for that. I wonder if it was the type of thing where food was taken out of the hand, or I don't know. There's got to be I can't imagine they feed the lions by hand, and it would surprise me that the zookeepers get close enough to the lions where a lion could actually bite, but I guess that has to happen. I don't understand it. I kind of wonder, what is the procedure? What does someone go through when feeding a lion? I was kind of thinking about this yesterday, and there has to be procedure, right?
Yes.
So I wonder how they do it.
We will find out. We'll talk to Andrea this morning, and I want to say, based on the conversation I had with her the other night, there is some intermediate area. So it's not like the fence.
So you go into an area,
right?
That's locked.
It's not like if the cat, if you will, got through one
and it's probably
area.
Remote control where you can, but something must have happened. Yeah. So we'll find out from Andrea this morning.
She did say, and I'm sure she'll reiterate today, that the keeper that was attacked took precautions to make sure that that the lion couldn't get out into the zoo or put anybody else at harm. There's got to be an intermediate zone.
That sounds like a pretty big accomplishment right there, right? No one else would have been put into danger because this employee did what they were supposed to do. That's awesome. Let's see. So we'll get more on that as to what happened. I was also thinking yesterday about how do they, like this week we were getting our mail at like 4:45.
Okay.
In the evening, so late afternoon, and normally we'll get the mail between 9:30 and 10:30 in the morning. Every day.
You got a sub this week? Yeah, somebody doing double duty?
I think it turns out we have a sub, and I saw this kid that's driving the mail truck around, and he looked young, and he just looked like kind of like Josh Allen during the Jets game Monday night when they opened the season.
Yeah.
Kind of looked deer in headlights. He was just making his way around the neighborhood. But you're as a mail carrier, I wonder what, it used to be years ago, I'm sure they had a certain procedure when there wasn't the volume of mail that we get today. Today, the volume is pretty high. So I wonder how they work it out. I mean, could you imagine if if they said one day, all right, this is a route, you're going to cover all of New York Mills, and here are your streets, and that's where the mail comes. You put the mail in your truck, then you drive to each person's house, and you give them their mail. There has to be some major, obviously, there's computers and automation involved today, but some major organizational accomplishments that occur in order for somebody to deliver your mail efficiently.
Sure, yeah.
Because it's got to be put all in place. So as you're driving down the street, you want to reach to the bundle. This is the Jeff's Street bundle.
Right.
And everybody's there in order, I would imagine.
You'd
It's
want,
all bundled
3,
up.
5, 7, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, as far as the house numbers.
If you're a former mail carrier, I would love to know how you guys do it. Is it all done by automation, or is there someone that does it for you? You walk in and, like, you know, if something's mixed up, you're like, who messed up my mail today?
Yeah, is it
you didn't get it right.
Is it like UPS and Amazon where overnight crew stocks
Right.
the truck, and then the morning crew comes in and they deliver the packages?
I think it might be like that. And you know, the delivery person comes in and everything's ready for them. Maybe it's already loaded. Maybe they have to load it. Or does the delivery person have to come in early? Or even better yet, what happens when Davy's off? What happens then? All the things that Davy used to do and does on a regular basis that nobody knows what he does. I would hope the U.S. government is far more efficient, but I have very little confidence.
Well,
the mail service, at the very least, is probably one of the more efficient agencies in all of
one
government. The government.
One would hope.
Well, I think it is. They somehow are able to figure all of this out. Anyway, interesting. If you are a mail carrier or were and want to just share, I bet it was a lot different 50 years ago.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah, absolutely. And I wonder if the volume, it would seem to me, boy, I guess I just don't know the answer because
I think the volume has to be so much more today.
We get so much solicitation, yeah.
Oh, God.
But at the same time, you would have to imagine 90% or better, it would seem, of the bills are paid where you're not mailing things out. You just do it on your phone or your computer.
That was the thought that was going to be happening. I mean, the number of colorful campfires we've had in our backyard, burning that, probably breathing in the chemicals we're not supposed to.
All that ink.
Yeah.
You know, I would have to imagine as well, when we talk about breathing in all that ink and all the solicitation, I just always think it's funny where it's like, Dear Jeff Manaski, we've got a whatever for you. And then it'll say right below my name, or current resident.
Or current resident. You know, that's
I feel so
garbage.
special.
So the other part of this is if you, I don't know if you sign up for the UPS online feature where you get an email every day and it takes pictures of your mail so you know what's coming. I love that. Tanya J. Power is standing by on the line right now. I don't know if you were following this story yesterday and this week, the Natalie Holloway story, and we're learning possibly some new clues here. Tanya, good morning, and what do we know?
Good morning. Well, he had a sentencing hearing yesterday. This was a plea deal that he had struck as part of the charges of extortion and wire fraud. He did extort money from Natalie Holloway's mother, Beth. Wow. So it's important to understand he was never charged in connection with Natalie Holloway's disappearance or her death. This sentence and these charges are for the extortion that he, did against Natalie Holloway's mother.
Okay.
In exchange for a 20-year prison sentence for those charges, he agreed to tell exactly what happened to her, which is what Beth Holloway has been trying to find out for 18 years. It's hard to believe it's been that long.
It is.
Since she disappeared, but it was 2005 when when Natalie Holloway was on a senior class trip to Aruba. He finally admitted that he killed her. He apparently it was a statement that he had given to his lawyer earlier this month, and some of the excerpts of it that she talked about yesterday after the sentencing hearing. He described how he brutally attacked her on a beach, Natalie Holloway. She rejected his sexual advances. They apparently got into, they had been, I guess, at a bar or something. They got into a fight. She wanted to leave. The long and the short of the whole thing is basically he hit her in the head with a cinder blade, quite brutally, and then pushed her into the water later. He brought her to the ocean's edge and waded in up to his knees and pushed her in the water and walked home.
Wow.
And that was and I'm abbreviating.
Yeah.
The information, but yeah, that's what she was finally able to find out for sure, what she had basically said all along.
You know, first of all, I ask, how do we know he's telling the truth? And I don't mean to be suspicious, but I wonder sometimes that these guys they've been given an ultimatum or given an opportunity to receive better treatment or a better what have you, and so they just go off and they just start making crap up, or we know because of A, B, and C that he is telling the truth.
I mean, it seemed enough for Beth Holloway.
Okay.
Because, like I said, she went to Aruba, quickly after this all happened to start with. She's been trying to find out what happened to her daughter for almost 2 decades. And, I remember Vandersloot was arrested twice. He was not charged in the disappearance or the death. And remember, he's also serving a 28 years prison sentence in Peru for murdering a 21-year-old student in 2010.
Wow.
So this is not, it's not a far-fetched idea to believe that he's actually telling the truth about this because of what else he's done and what he is currently, serving time for.
Whenever I hear these stories, I think of the story here, and it's been how many years? 30 years? How many years since Sarah Ann Wood?
Maybe 35.
Back in the 90s. So the case that was all over, it was national news from up here where a young girl was abducted.
30 years.
And it has been just about 30 years. And the family still does not know. We know that, obviously, we know that she's deceased, and we know who did it. He's currently in prison. But he still has not given the authorities or the family the whereabouts of where her body and where her remains are currently. And it's just the families. It's hard to understand if you're not a family member, but they want some bit of closure. And without these moments, they don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, this was I can't imagine being in that situation and what it's like for that family. I can't imagine what it must have been like for Beth Holloway this whole time. Not only did she not know, exactly what happened, and she never, got information until now, he extorted her. He tried to demand $250,000 from her and claimed that he said, okay, well, I know your daughter's remains, the location of her remains, and I'll tell you if you give me this money.
Yeah.
He only got about $25,000 from her. He lied, basically, according to prosecutors. And that's what these extortion and wire fraud charges stemmed from in the first place, was because, in insult to injury, basically, is, he said, oh, okay, well, I'll tell you if you'll pay me all this money, and then, didn't.
Yeah.
So,
terrible.
I can't imagine what they've been through.
Yep, I completely agree. It's just something you don't even want to think about. Wow. Okay, Tanya, as always, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Sure, thank you.
Tanya J. Powers from Fox News.
I see what you mean, though. He gets the money. He extorts her for money.
Right.
In exchange for telling her where the body is, and then he gets caught for the extortion. And apparently, as a way to shave a couple years off, they tell him, well, you have to fess up and admit that you did it. So how do we know he's not doing it just to shave a couple years off?
There have been plenty of cases where someone in prison has confessed to a crime that he did not commit. Usually it's a he. Did not commit, and they do it for just that very reason. And then you later find out, well, they didn't do it. There have been cases like that.
Yes, there have.
So you're not dealing with the most honest bunch in the world. So you wonder, and I'm assuming the authorities have a pretty good way of telling and being able to determine when they're told something to be able to verify it. But again, this Natalie Holloway story just continues to go on. It's been a long time. I have some comments here this morning on stuff we're into. And dealing with, I guess what we're into is now what we're going to be doing today, but what we're dealing with definitely will be. Mike, this morning, every day we go longer with no speaker, we are ending up closer and closer to having your problem with the budget and a shutdown, I believe. But he says, I suppose it doesn't matter because there's no way they're going to allow a shutdown around Thanksgiving and the holidays. I also think that's very true. I mean, they're going. It would be disastrous to have a shutdown during the holidays.
Yeah, it would be.
So there's a can out there that's going to be probably kicked pretty soon. Mike says, I expect another continuing resolution to go into the new year. Debt. And I think he's probably right. Wayne this morning. Trevor Lawrence is going to outplay New Orleans, and I'm playing the under at 39.5, although both teams have a ton of injuries. Do you agree with that? I think you were wondering where he was going to be on this game.
Yeah, so I'm just surprised the spread is only a point here. I think Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, Etienne is playing. A lot of their wide receivers are playing, so I was just surprised to see the line was at 1. And I don't remember if Jacksonville's giving or getting, but I thought they would be, the spread would be 4.5, 5. So
Wayne, also, our mail was showing up at 1. Now it comes at 5 or 6, and we get everybody else's mail. Our new guy looks like a wrestler, like a WWE, I guess. He said a wrestling jobber. What is that?
Okay, so a wrestling jobber is one of the guys that they used to send out there in like the 80s and 90s. Here's John Johnson, and he's just some average-looking guy who's about to get steamrolled by your name, WWF superstar.
I don't follow wrestling, so it's not something
he's a
that
jobber, so he's paid to go in and quote, do the job, take the whooping.
Speaking of Jim Jordan,
that's so funny, Wayne.
Speaking of Jim Jordan, another wrestler has come out that was on his team and has denounced Jordan, and he even said, I can tell you, I can assure you, there is not a single wrestler that was on our team who would disagree with me and who would vote for Jim Jordan, not just for this position, but for any leadership role.
Boy.
So it's funny because I was a wrestling coach, and when I was younger, discovered someone doing some very, very suspicious things. And there wasn't even a question in my mind that, and this is when I wasn't sure, you have to report it. And then when nothing was done, I reported it to the state police. And then they came in, and somehow everybody rallied around the guy and said, all these kids must be lying. And the guy was put right back in the position. 20 years later, the man was ousted again for allegations. And interestingly, I was involved at that time, something I'd rather not want to get into, but was involved in that time. And then finally, this person was removed and can no longer teach in our schools. But a deal was cut there. You just feel if children are being, and in this case, these were college students, but they're still kids.
Yeah.
If somebody is being violated, like what happened to the women's gymnastics team, somebody had to know what was going on, and nobody said anything. And others were being violated as time went on. But I do think that when it comes to guys, we look at it differently. Like, my kid would never allow anything to happen. Trust me. I mean, that guy'd get a punch in the nose. I used to hear a lot of stuff like that. And a lot of, I don't believe it. Well, you can believe what you want. I know what I saw. So I know what I walked in on. And there's no way you can excuse that away and say, well, he really cares. Trust me, these visions are still in my head, and it's been since the 1980s when I was a coach. So I don't understand how Jim Jordan, if he did know something, couldn't have done something to stop it. And it was a team doctor that this was happening to in their wrestling program. But there's like 16 or 17 of these wrestlers from this team who are all out writing letters and saying, do not make this guy Speaker of the House. And I got to tell you, I think that probably has something to do, at least for a few of the members, on why these Republicans are not voting for him.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. So did these allegations that he was aware of this abuse going on, did they just come to light, or
no? This has been around for a long time.
The other thing is, was somebody ever arrested, prosecuted, or identified as the person who was allegedly doing the groping and touching And
I believe I really never dug in completely on the story, but I believe so. But this was allowed to go on for quite some time, and nothing was done about it. And what some of these wrestlers have said is Coach Jordan could have protected us. He could have stood up for us, and he didn't. So I don't know how the story ended, to be honest with you. Mike this morning will not. I agree on this Thanksgiving thing and the holidays. There's no way they're going to allow for a shutdown. He says, you always knew the wrestler was a jobber when he was introduced as the KG veteran. Don't know much about that. Rob, FBI interviewed in polygraph Vandersloot. His story is consistent with what he has testified to in court in Alabama. All right, fair enough. And Rob would be able to answer the questions that I had. How do authorities know that this person is telling the truth when he speaks?
Did they mention lie detector?
I didn't hear.
Well,
hear
Carol
that.
in Whitesboro sent a message that said they had him hooked up to a lie detector for whatever that's worth.
Rob says, and by the way, Jordan was already investigated for that wrestling issue. Oh, Rob, please. I can only tell you, based on what I went through, I was fired, by the way, because I reported the case. And then the teacher was reinstalled, and the family that was involved had to move away. So I have no faith in what people do when they rally around that very big winning hero coach. Remember, he was a great wrestler before he was a coach, Jim Jordan. So I all I can tell you is there are 17 or 18 members of that team who are saying, sorry, we don't care about the investigation. It was going on. He knew it. That's all I'm saying. And by the way, I'm not voting on Jim Jordan. In fact, unless he runs for president, we're probably never going to vote for Jim Jordan or not vote for Jim Jordan. Donna says, please ask these questions. Oh, when we have Andrea Heath on later on this morning, please ask these questions since the lion has never hurt anyone. Is the employee sick, pregnant, or on her? Okay, I'm going to read it. Is the employee, are you ready?
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Is the employee sick, pregnant, or on her menstrual cycle? I
knew you weren't going to say
leave
skateboard.
That question to you. You can ask that question. Animals in the wild will sense and attack other animals for those reasons. Very interesting, Donna. And Donna, thank you for giving me that to read on the radio.
Just getting back to Jim Jordan for a second.
You're right, but this is more of a nature thing.
Apparently,
yeah. Okay, quickly, and then I'll break, and we'll come back.
Former Ohio State wrestling captain Adam DiSabato told
Is this the latest one?
Well, I just want to kind of summarize with the doctor involved.
Today. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
So essentially, here we go. Jordan was an assistant wrestling coach at Ohio State from 87 to 95. Berman noted many wrestlers and even referees claim that Jordan knew or was told of the abuse but did not speak out. Last year, Ohio State received a report created by Perkins Coie, LLP, which found that Strauss, the doctor, allegedly abused at least 177 students during his time of employment between 1978 and 1998. Investigators concluded that university personnel at the time had knowledge of the complaints and concerns about Strauss's conduct as early as 1979, but failed to investigate or act meaningfully. Excuse me. No action occurred until concerns were escalated outside the Student Health and Athletics Department in 1996. Strauss was suspended and then later retired in 1998. It does not sound like he was ever criminally charged.
This is what happens often with these cases. And you know, I know that in a case that I was involved in, initially it was, we can't put these kids through this. We can't have these kids go up on the stand and testify. But you know what? At the end of the day, I think many of these kids wanted to do that because, you know, so a deal is caught, you give up your license, you don't teach, you don't, you know, that's how it ends. And that sounds like that's quite similar. And again, I'm telling you, boys involved in this sort of thing versus girls, it's treated completely different. The boys are strong enough to be able to stand up for themselves. That's how people see it. And that is not the right way to look at it.
This is a quote here from Per Merritt Kennedy of NPR. Instances of abuse often involved, I mean, I don't know how much you want me to get into this, but the report also stated that members of 15 university athletic programs were abused. Strauss according to this report, most frequently targeted wrestlers, 48 of them, according to the report, and the abuse often became more explicit over multiple visits.
I want to tell you about a problem that's going on.
And this involved men. I just want to point that out. And
men,
I think
not boys. These are
no, I mean boys, young men. Not women, not necessarily women.
Correct, but they
male.
were not high school. This was a college program.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, and then how about this going on? I told you I was going to break, but I've just got so much to get into. This is something that's happening not only around the state, but is happening here locally. So you have situations where people see an abandoned home or a home that is not occupied. So it's a rental, and they see and so they break into the home, and a lot of these properties are not owned by people who are right here. So you go into the home, and once you break in, you make it look like you're moving in. You set up your national grid, you add cable, turn on the electricity. All of this stuff is all set up. When you set up your electricity or your cable or whatever, no one ever says to you, can you show me proof that you are the owner or you are the renter of the property? So they set it up, and then based on New York law, what do you think happens?
Well, that they've established that it's their home.
That is their home, and there are squatting. There are laws right now that protect squatters.
Right.
So they have broken in. They have set up electric, cable, and heat for the wintertime. They are living there scot-free other than paying for their services, and now the owner of the property cannot remove them. So you're going through all of these court proceedings to get rid of the person who is now the tenant.
Doesn't that sound a little bit ridiculous?
It is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
It's like saying if I stole a vehicle, and if you don't get me before I put 25 miles on it, well, that's my car. I'm putting miles on it. It's my vehicle.
I put miles on it. I actually added oil, and it's in my garage.
You just saw me stop and get gas.
Mine now.
I mean, nobody else was driving the thing when I found it.
Mind-blowing. Here's a story. 4 squatters were arrested in Georgia at a home and charged with felonies and accused of running a strip club in the home by people in the community. They broke into the house. They began squatting, and they didn't just take up residency. They opened a business, and it was quite the business. Here's the neighbor talking about what the squatters were doing in the home, and then Police Captain Derek Rogers talking about the arrests and the charges. Here's audio.
It was always something going on in that house. A lot of partying. They had an illegal strip club on the weekends. They would get live horses. One day they had live horses.
All these individuals were charged with various felony crimes.
Okay, I don't want to hear anything about these two things should never be in the same sentence. Strip club and live horses.
Yeah. That's really insulting to call the woman that.
Wow.
I mean, how dare they?
And then one more, if I could. I can't believe this is happening, but it is. Do you remember the movie, was it called Ice Chips? What was the Boeheim movie? The movie
Blue Chips?
Blue Chips. Jim Boeheim was in Blue Chips.
Yeah, Nolte? Was Nolte the
Yeah, but my focus is on Boeheim.
Okay.
He had a he had a speaking part, and do you remember the performance?
If I'm not mistaken, he really had the 1980s era Jim Boeheim look going, right?
He did have the look going, but I just found that, it's like when we did the, which we appreciate tremendously for Real Men Get Tested when Jim Boeheim did this.
Yeah.
We wrote the commercial for him, writing the commercial in a way that it would sound like him in a press conference, so that he's being him, not writing something where he's going to be out of sorts and out of character. He
actually did great with it, by the way. I remember that.
He did a great job. Do you know what Jim Boeheim is about to do next?
What is Jim
And it is not a movie. I'm just going to tell you. He is finalizing a deal with Westwood One and ESPN. He is going to be going on the broadcast team.
Oh, really?
And I guess what I'm saying is I don't know that I see it. Maybe I have to see it to really believe in it. But he's just not that. Maybe every time we see him, he's annoyed because the team's down by 2 and he's going into the locker room at halftime, and he doesn't want to talk to the person. Maybe it'll be a different Jim Boeheim when he really does want to talk. But the Jim Boeheim that we know is not that personable color commentator.
Yeah, well, didn't Bobby Knight do some TV stuff? And I mean, his reputation.
He's another one, right? Although at least every time, every once in a while during a broadcast, he'd get a chair and throw it across the room. That would make it exciting. I don't know that we're going to see that out of Jim Boeheim, but that is his, looks like for the upcoming college basketball season, that's what he's going to be doing. So get ready for that.
So, and as I'm looking up images from that movie Blue Chips with Jim Boeheim, he actually has a more modern look than I remember. It wasn't with the silly, huge, oversized glasses.
He was. I see. Right, that 70s.
I should have said that
late
70s
look. Where
but
he
no,
had
in the movie, he was more modern than I remember.
Yeah. Got a break. Hold on. We'll come right back. Stand by. It's Thursday morning. And a lot to do coming up here, including the Utica Comets 1 millionth fan promotion. What is that? We'll get into it coming up at WIBX.
I'm Anthony Pacenti. As county executive, I tackled tough issues. I acted to make our schools safer for our children. I immediately stopped the immoral attempt to bus illegal migrants into Oneida County. I continue to work every day to combat the scourge of the opiate epidemic in our community. I will continue to tackle tough issues head on, and I won't let bad decisions in Albany stop us. And I ask for your vote on November 7th.
Leadership and a vision for the future is how Oneida County is moving forward. Oneida County Executive Tony Pacenti.
We've made significant investments in healthcare and public safety, created new opportunities in tourism and youth sports, and invested big in high-tech, state-of-the-art research, resulting in high-quality jobs right here at home.
Oneida County is working, growing, and moving forward. On November 7th, let's keep it that way. Re-elect Tony Pacenti, Oneida County Executive.
Paid for by Friends of Tony Pacenti.
The Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties is your community foundation. Together, we've invested $125 million in the community, thanks to people, families, and businesses that want to give back and build a brighter future. And you don't have to have big bucks to make a big difference. Join us as we invest in the future of our community. Learn more about your community foundation at foundationhoc.org.
Oriskany Garage, a locally owned auto repair shop, is consistently selected best auto repair shop in the Utica area year after year. Google search Oriskany Garage to see what our customers are saying. Come and see us for friendly professional service. For all of your auto repair needs, brakes, tires, funny noises, warning lights, come experience friendly professional service at Oriskany Garage down the street from Utica University or online at ogtire.com. Come on and say it with me and make the noise. ogtire.com.
Come on and say it with me. Make the noise. Brand Construction.
I can't do it.
I don't know what the sound is. I guess you'd have a sound of concrete being poured, and then you're taking the little tool and you're smoothing it out and all of that. Makes a sound. Make the sound with me. Brank Construction, B-R-A-N-C-K, David and Rocco Brank for concrete work, foundation repair, old stone walls, old block walls, retaining walls, stairways, chimneys, cellar entrances. There's still time to get things fixed up or to create something with concrete using the greatest masonry techniques that are out there. These guys are craftsmen. They're doing an amazing job. And call them today at 315-894-3481. Brank Construction, 315-894-3481.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, Davey piping in here this morning. Our man, Davey. He said it'll be interesting to see who they team Jimmy B with on the broadcast team on ESPN or use him as a studio host like they do with former coach Seth Greenberg, who is one of the best studio hosts at ESPN today. Just my thought. How do you react? It is a good question, right?
Davey knows way more about that stuff than I do.
Where's he going to go, though? Will he be in studio or on the broadcast? Good question. That means he'll have to do some traveling, right? I would imagine.
Yeah.
I
do have, boy, did I lose it here? Oh, Richard sent me an email because I was talking about the Jaguars game.
Okay. You have 10 seconds.
Trevor Lawrence is questionable with a knee injury. Do your due diligence, is what he told me.
Okay, I love that. All right, Richard, there you go. News is next, top of the hour.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
President Biden will address the nation. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, at 8 p.m. Eastern from the Oval Office, the day after going to Israel, pledging more military support in the war against Hamas. On the way home on Air Force One, the president also said, in talks with Israel's prime minister,
he's very blunt about the need to support getting humanitarian aid to Gaza. Get it to Gaza and do it quickly.
Egypt will send that aid into Gaza, where more than 1 million Palestinians have fled their homes. Almost 3,500 have been killed, some in that hospital bombing President Biden, citing U.S. intelligence, blames on a terrorist rocket fired toward Israel that misfired. Hamas denies that. And Democratic Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib at a pro-Palestinian protest in Washington said,
President Biden, not all America's with you on this one, and you need to wake up.
Some protesters got inside a House office building at the Capitol and were arrested as they demand a ceasefire, but the Israeli airstrikes continue, killing 2 Hamas terror leaders on the 13th day of war. But
the southern border was largely quiet overnight in terms of rocket fire.
Fox's Trey Yangston is near Gaza and also reports
the Israeli military telling Fox News just moments ago that multiple anti-tank guided missiles were fired from southern Lebanon into northern Israel. This is significant because it indicates yet another attack by the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah.
The House could vote for Speaker again today, with Jim Jordan still trying. 22 fellow Republicans did not support him in the second vote, including Congressman Don Bacon, who tells Fox,
I support giving Patrick McHenry, the Speaker pro tem, more responsibilities and authorities.
Bacon also says his wife was threatened by Jordan supporters, and other lawmakers who voted against Jordan say the same threats Jordan has condemned. A sheriff's deputy was shot and needed surgery last night in Riverside County, California, and is reported stable. The suspected gunman's in custody. America's listening to Fox News.
Don't let everyday aches and pains keep you from living your best life.
I don't think I really understood what people meant when they talked about pain until I started feeling it myself.
Start feeling better every day with Relief Factor, a daily supplement designed to support your body's fight against aches and pains.
Not only do I move better without pain, I just feel better.
Created by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that target 4 metabolic pathways to address pain. Relief Factor doesn't just mask aches and pains, it helps reduce or even eliminate them.
Today, I do the things I love, and it doesn't occur to me to think about pain.
You can feel the difference all day, every day.
Join the over 1 million people who have tried Relief Factor's 3-week Quick Start Kit. It's only $19.95 and comes with our Feel Better or Your Money Back guarantee. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
We have partly cloudy skies, 44 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. The Utica Zoo expected to reopen today after a worker was attacked by a lion earlier this week. That happened on Tuesday. A zookeeper was taking part in routine closing and feeding procedures when she was bitten by the lion. She was taken to a nearby hospital for treatment of her injuries and was later released that evening. The incident is under investigation. Officials say there was never any threat to the safety of other staff members or to visitors. Coming up, we will be joined in just a short time by the Utica Zoo's Executive Director, Andrea Heath. Governor Kathy Hochul is in Tel Aviv. The governor touched down this morning for what she calls a solidarity mission amid the ongoing war overseas. She also posted messages to that effect on social media. The governor plans on returning to New York State tomorrow. New legislation has been signed aimed at supporting stop DWI programs across New York. The measure requires surcharges that are assessed to drivers who are caught being impaired behind the wheel to be used toward the funding of local drunk driving prevention programs. Officials say that, in turn, will help protect New Yorkers from dangerous drivers. Since 1981, Stop DWI has provided thousands of dollars of intervention and training programs. Election Day, just under 3 weeks away. The deadline for voters to request an absentee ballot is coming up soon. The last day for the Board of Elections to receive an absentee ballot is by letter, telefax, or online is Monday, October 23rd. The final day to apply in person for an absentee ballot is November 6th. And Kelsey Grammer is going to be making a stop in Utica next week. The Frasier and Cheers star will appear at the 16 Stone Brew Pub next Thursday from 3 to 5. He'll be pouring Faith American Ale, a beer brand that he launched back in 2018.
So where is he going to be appearing?
16, I want to make sure I say this right because I always invert it. 16 Stone Brew Pub.
Where is that?
I'm double checking. Let's see here. 16 Stone Brew Pub, it says here, is in Holland Patton. Now, the headline I got says that it's in Utica, but it's apparently Utica area.
So I think there's a couple of different places I'm seeing here. Let's see.
Well, no, this one.
Oh, that's the place. So
this lists this as Oriskany Street West.
Okay. So, and I think Frasier is back.
The show?
The show Frasier is back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of that?
No.
Well, neither was I.
No. But he, of course, started on Cheers.
Cheers.
Loved Cheers. Cheers was a great show. But that's kind of cool. Kelsey Grammer in town. Pouring beer.
WIBX News Time is 7:06. Your Weather Center forecast. Partly sunny skies today with a high of 66 degrees. Overnight tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 53. Friday, chance of rain showers, mainly in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. Again, a high of 66. Saturday, showers, high near 59. Sunday, showers likely with a high near 49. Ooh.
It's going to cool off. Well, listen, it's October. I would like some more warm, sunny weather, but it is October. You never know what you're going to get.
Currently, we have partly cloudy skies, 44 degrees. The temperature is brought to you by Home and Hospital Medical Supplies and Service, carrying a wide selection of home medical equipment. You can call them at 315-724-6767 and online at h&hmedicalny.com. All right, baseball last night. The Astros back in their series against Texas. They defeated the Rangers 8-5 at Arlington. The Astros scored 3 times in the second inning and never looked back. They now trail the best-of-7 series 2-1. Texas third baseman Josh Young had 2 dingers and 4 RBI in the losing effort. Meanwhile, the Phillies currently lead the Arizona Diamondbacks 2-0. Arizona will host Game 3 of the series coming up tonight in Phoenix. Thursday night football, Jacksonville quarterback Trevor Lawrence listed as questionable officially, but the Jags will be in the Big Easy tonight looking for their 4th straight win. Jacksonville set to face New Orleans on Thursday night football at Caesars Superdome. The Saints are looking to get back on track after losing 3 of their last 4. The Saints have won the last 4 meetings against Jacksonville, which dates back to 2007. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has agreed to a 3-year contract extension. The 64-year-old has been in his current role since 2006 and is now signed contractually through March of 2027. The Jets involved in a trade with the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes welcoming back a familiar face as the Jets sending Mecole Hardman to Kansas City. In exchange, the Jets receive a 2025 6th-round pick for a 2025 7th-round pick. The Jets signed Hardman to a 1-year, $4 million deal this offseason. He's only been on the field for 28 snaps and has 1 catch so far this season. The Cardinals one step closer to having their quarterback back. Arizona designating Kyler Murray and safety Budda Baker to return to practice on Wednesday. Murray did take part for the first time since tearing his ACL last December. That's good enough.
Okay, can I just give you just
the Las Vegas Aces won the WNBA championship again.
Can I just give you a little bit of Kelsey Grammer stuff here? So apparently he has a home where it may be his primary home in, I believe it's Kingston.
Okay.
So Hudson Valley area.
Yeah.
And his brewery is actually, the beer that he does is actually brewed out of Schenectady. Do you have some information on this?
I do not.
Okay, you
He
look
was just
like
sitting
you
up
did.
straight so that he could hear where this beer was made.
Why don't you start acting more like Davey? If I asked Davey that question, I know, Davey, you're listening. Davey would be like, huh? Oh, Davey, you know you would. Okay, so Kelsey Grammer, yes, and there's the revival of the show Frasier. And so this thing that is going on is really kind of cool. It's more than just appearing and pouring the beer. It's a Simpsons-themed pop-up that is going to be occurring.
No
So
kidding.
Moe's Tavern, if you're a Simpsons fan, you would know Moe's Tavern.
Yeah, Moe's.
So this is a pop-up event inspired by the bar from The Simpsons, and it will take over the 16 Stone Brew Pub in Utica from October. Well, it's going on
Next
starting
Thursday.
tomorrow.
Oh, really?
It's October 20th through the 28th with a special. So that happens, it becomes Moe's Tavern starting tomorrow. We got to get these guys on.
Yes.
Moe's Tavern starting tomorrow with a special appearance by Kelsey Grammer next week on Thursday, October 26th. He'll be there pouring from 3 until 5, and he will be pouring his Faith American Ale, which is brewed in upstate New York at the Frog Alley Brewing Company in Schenectady. So kind of interesting. And yes, the program is back. It was going to be on Paramount Plus, but then with the writer's strike, I think it's ending up on CBS as well. Moe's Tavern is a traveling pop-up bar that recently came to Buried Acorn Brewing Company in Syracuse. The family-friendly event features the Simpsons-themed decorations and characters, food, including a child's plate called Maggie, swag, and even a version of Homer Simpson's favorite beer, Duff's. Utica will also offer a TOH-themed beer inspired by the animated show's beloved Treehouse of Horror, I should say, the Halloween episodes. Attendees are encouraged to wear costumes and enjoy the immersive experience and character. Moe's Tavern Utica will take place beginning tomorrow from 3 until 9, Saturday 12 till 9, and then Tuesday from 4 till 9, Wednesday from 4 till 9, Thursday of next week from 3 till 9, and Grammer will be there between 3 and 5. So it'll be Moe's Tavern for about a week.
That's cool.
Pretty cool deal there.
I wonder if you're encouraged to call like Bart Simpson always does and say, hi, this is Moe's. You need a huge ass? Is there a huge ass here?
Okay. We should just do that repeatedly. just to keep that theme going.
He had a bunch of funny names like that.
Repeatedly. Okay, coming up this hour, a jam-packed hour. Brandon Williams, Congressman, coming up. He'll talk about this, the latest, and Israel, also that Capitol protest that had gone on, which is the shirts I kept seeing were Jews for Palestinians or Jews for peace. They were a large group. Many of them were Jewish people, younger people, who are saying ceasefire. We're asking for a ceasefire. The problem is, I know this is you knew this was going to happen, right?
Right.
And Hamas knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
At some point after the initial horrific attack that they did, this inhumane, terrible attack on innocent people, that Israel was going to react fiercely.
Yes.
And it was going to put an end to them. So all of a sudden, you're going to see public opinion sway in the other direction. It's exactly what's starting to happen in a lot of places where people are doing protests saying, how can you hurt these? It's the innocent people are being hurt. Yeah, because Hamas is placing them in a position where they're targets. And the other part is the U.S. came out yesterday, and after an investigation, Israel and the U.S. offered proof that that hospital was not bombed by Israel.
So, to the point on the ceasefire, in exchange for what? I agree. Like, civilians shouldn't be shot and killed and all that stuff, and have their homes blown up. But the terrorists,
well, I
if
guess
that's what we're calling them.
they're asking, what these protesters are asking for, is for the ceasefire, and let's negotiate, because these people are victims now. The problem is the innocent people are victims. There's no doubt about it. But the people who are ruling that region they want the death, and they'll accept nothing less than the death of Israel.
That's what I mean. Stop shelling them in exchange for what? The people who allegedly were responsible for the atrocities that occurred, whatever it was, 10 days ago now. Do they surrender and we have a trial?
No.
We're just going to stop until they decide they want to.
Well, they're going to rebuild.
Do a suicide bombing
and
or something.
And because there's so much damage to the Gaza Strip and their area and their homes and their infrastructure, they'll hate Jews even more. So this will just bubble over until there's another attack like this. I think the way Israel's looking at it, and it'll be interesting to see if they can fulfill this, and we'll talk to Brandon Williams about it, who certainly knows a heck of a lot more than we do. But I think that Netanyahu wants to remove them from the region, period.
Well, from the planet, I think, too.
Just saying it in a nice way.
Yeah.
Remove them from the region. We'll talk about the Utica Comets' 1 millionth fan. Andrea Heath, Utica Zoo, coming on. A lot of questions for her. And Brandon Williams we'll get to. And Hobica's free money question of the day we'll do coming up in a few minutes. We'll tell you how much that's going to be worth in a bit. Hold tight. Coming right back, 7:16 at WIBX.
The Wynn Hospital. Unwavering commitment and compassion. State-of-the-art technology and techniques. Advanced expertise and innovation. Consistent safety and quality. And it all will be exactly where you need it, because this fall, the brand new state-of-the-art Wynn Hospital will open in downtown Utica. Soon, you will be able to experience local care on a whole new level. The Wynn Hospital, world-class care is right around the corner. Learn more at mvhealthsystem.org. This is for you. At MVHS, our team members fell in love with care long ago. Their lives were changed, and their world has been expanding ever since. In respect, compassion, knowledge, and ability. And it's only just begun. Because fueling the future of care starts here at the Wynn Hospital. The Wynn Hospital, opening in October 2023. Learn more at mvhealthsystem.org. This is for you.
Hi, former CI officer and survival expert Jason Hansen here. I teach people how to prepare for the unexpected. And right now, most Americans with a 401k, IRA, or other types of retirement accounts are not prepared for a financial crisis that could hit the U.S. in the next 45 days if we don't fix our ramped up government spending. I have partnered with Advantage Gold, the #1 rated precious metals company in America, to release my new Financial Crisis Survival Kit that's 100% free for everyone with a retirement account who calls in today. Simply call 800-900-8000. My Financial Crisis Survival Kit is jam-packed with valuable information on how you can protect yourself with physical gold and silver. Your first step to protection is calling 800-900-8000 and speaking to one of their Gold IRA specialists.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Check with your financial advisor before investing.
Again, simply call 800-900-8000.
Identity theft shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, more than $29 billion were stolen last year alone. That's a criminal success story and a wake-up call for everyone else. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock makes it easy to help protect yourself if you become a victim. A dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. Join now and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com, promo code Clay.
Hey, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients. Just a friend of mine recently over there became a new patient having back issues and said it was the first time he'd gone somewhere and had a thorough examination and a thorough treatment using an osteopathic approach, which is so much more than just going to a chiropractor. It's the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. Whatever ails you, or if you're in need of a new family doctor, call them today. They're accepting new patients. Dr. Shemileski, Dr. Zielinski, and others, including Dr. Kosminski, all under one roof. Even acupuncture offered at the Falcon Clinic. Call today, 315-507-4751 for the Falcon Clinic.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Utica Pioneers are at home Friday night at the Adirondack Bank Center, and this is a biggie. They'll be taking on the USA Under-18 team. which is no slouch. They beat Boston University the other night like 8-1.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a tough one to handle, but it's really cool. They're in the Team USA uniforms, all that stuff. It's a 7 o'clock game at the Adirondack Bank Center. It is tomorrow night, and tickets are available. That game is considered an exhibition, but it's going to be very fun to watch.
And then the Pioneers jump right into it. I think the week after that, next Friday.
Next Friday,
Adrian,
they're right in with Adrian. Yeah. Also, I wanted to tell you, I thought this was kind of interesting in terms of there's a story up on our website right now about SUNY Poly, and this is really cool. They have autonomous robots that are delivering, and it's tied with Grubhub. So the Grubhub will come, and it can hold up to like enough food that 3 grocery bags.
Okay.
And so the order comes in onto the campus, and then the robots deliver it to wherever they're, to their dorm room.
So Grubhub specifically?
Yes, and you use the app in order to unlock your food to be able to get your food out. So not just anybody can go get your food.
So the door dashing, I was doing it there. I had to take a student.
I only list Grubhub for me, but the story's up on the website. But you weren't using the robots?
Well, no, definitely not. But the request was to hand the order to this particular student, and I don't know where he was. I mean, I must have called him 7 times, and eventually I had to track down an RA and leave it in like a main office because I just didn't know. They're supposed to come out and meet you. You know, you don't just go door to door.
Well, they don't have to do it here with the robots. The robots do it for them. And here's another one. Amazon is starting. You knew this was kind of coming. They're starting to test drones that will be able to drop off prescription medications at your doorstep, usually faster than you could pick it up at the pharmacy. Here's the Vice President of Amazon Pharmacy, John Love, and Chief Medical Officer of Amazon Pharmacy, Dr. Vin Gupta, talking about the program that is going to be tested in one place right now, College Station, Texas. Here's the audio.
We're excited to announce that customers who signed up for Prime Air are going to be able to get prescription medication delivered to their doorstep in under 60 minutes.
That means getting as close as possible to our customers, to our patients, as fast as possible. The second you understand that something might be happening with a patient, that they may be experiencing a medical condition, you want to get them the care they need as quickly as possible.
It really is unparalleled in the experience for getting prescription medication.
So I believe the xylophone was being played by John Love, the bass guitar by the Dr. Vin Gupta. I don't know who was playing the flute in that. That must have been a promo and not an interview release. But either way, you kind of knew this was coming.
Yeah.
And some of this testing is happening right out at Griffiths.
Yep.
It's pretty darn cool. Michael is with the Utica Comets. We're talking about the 1 millionth fan. Have you seen the signs out?
Yes, there's one on 12, basically the arterial, that I saw just ahead of the start of the regular season. And they had a number up there. I don't remember the number that was, current, if you will. But I was seeing this thing about the 1 millionth fan to come through the turnstiles at the Adirondack Bank Center.
Mike, good morning.
Morning, guys. How are you?
All right, what do we know about this? The 1 millionth fan. Has the 1 millionth fan made it through the turnstiles at the Adirondack Bank Center yet?
Not for a Utica Comets game. So we're at 973,573. I don't really remember how the idea came up over the summer, but I walked into our CFO's office and I was like, do you have the attendance numbers from every game ever? And how close is it to 1 million? Because I did the averages.
Yeah.
And I realized it might be close. And I was worried it was going to be over, but we ended up, a few thousand away, and I know I guess 30,000 away. So we think that fan should cross the turnstiles hopefully mid-December. There's a few games in a row in December that we think that million fans going to come through, and it's going to be an awesome celebration. We'll have the mascot and dancers and a huge prize package for that one person. That day is going to be chaotic with all of us on the phone and walkie-talkies counting people coming through turnstiles, but It's a fun way to celebrate the truly million fans that have come to Comets games.
That is really cool. And, when you first said we're about 30,000 away, I'm like, wow, that's going to take a while, right? But you think about it, at about 3,000 fans a game, you're talking 10 games.
Yeah,
and,
give or take, sure.
So not that long away, so not that far away. So that's coming. All right, so they'll get a whole bunch of stuff. This is kind of cool. You had to be really happy when you called, and do you have the exact attendance records, and you found out it was actually short. It would have been awful if, the millionth fan came through last year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was so afraid of. And I was like, no, we're not counting the preseason games. I was very much trying to keep the number low.
Now, are you counting? So this is the official attendance for every game. So if a season ticket holder doesn't walk through the turnstiles, their ticket is still counted as a ticket, right?
No, it's just through the turnstile.
Okay, so it's
season
just
tickets. Technically, we've sold out. I think almost every game in the 11 years because of season ticket holders.
Right.
But because you got a good percentage of no shows, especially on the occasional Wednesday game or whatever it is. This is just people that have physically been in the building, and then later in the next couple of weeks, we're going to start putting out information of how many fans have seen Syracuse play at the Adirondack Bank Center. How many fans have been to a Veterans Day game? How many fans have done this, that, and the other to kind of give the million a little more context over the last 11 years.
You must have been like a big fan of taking statistics in school.
Analytics.
Yeah.
Younger generation.
I gotta be honest, I'm not the numbers guy. I think I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it came. I was watching a Family Guy episode, and somewhere in the background, it was a McDonald's sign that said, 1 billion or 99 billion served. And I think that's where I was like, oh, I wonder what number are it?
Yeah, that's really interesting.
He won't understand this reference at all, but I had this visual in my mind where, you're in the checkout line at the grocery store, and then all of a sudden it's like, boo, boo, and then it's supermarket sweep. They give you a cash a cart and just tell you to run down the aisles and throw the things you want into your cart.
Yeah. Well, this will be really cool.
That might be fun for us, actually. We could just put somebody in the team store. You have 30 seconds to grab as much stuff as you can.
Yeah. You will know the night that it's going to happen. We can pre-promote that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We should have a pretty. I mean, unless it's close. If we're 3,600 away.
Right. Well, that becomes a a challenge to get everybody out. Okay, really cool. Keep us abreast of this so we can help talk about it. All right, Mike?
All right, awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you so much.
That's Michael Lair, the Director of Marketing with the Utica Comets.
The 1 millionth fan. And I know that that has Andrea thinking right up to that microphone. I wonder how many people have walked through the gates of the Utica Zoo.
I am frightened, Bill, that you just read my mind.
I can see you.
I was thinking, we should go back through our database and figure that out.
Yeah, because I can't imagine how many people have walked through the gates at the zoo.
Well, when I first got there in 2011, the annual attendance was around 45,000.
Okay.
And our highest year was 2019, and I think we're up near 150,000.
Wow.
We haven't quite reached that since COVID.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. We had a really good year last year and this year.
How deflating to have your best year ever and then COVID hits, right? And people aren't allowed to come anymore.
We were closed 107 days. We're still, we're kind of still rebounding from that.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about a question that was posed here. I don't know how I can even ask this question.
I answered it already with text with Jeff.
You did?
So here's the problem. Here's the problem with me. My phone's on my kitchen table right now.
Okay, so here's the scoop.
But you're talking about
Donna's question.
Donna's question, but the problem with the question is you're talking about an employee who has personal.
So here's the thing. We're not going to talk really about our zookeeper's health nor her specific injuries, although I do understand Donna's question. Her question was about certain vulnerabilities, and animals do sense those.
Through nature.
Yeah. But this wasn't the case. So let's go. Shall we go ahead and talk about the incident first?
I'd like to say, Donna, thank you for making me squirm this morning. That was really nice of you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Now let's talk about it.
So the incident that occurred, first of all, let me just tell you, and we're accredited, as you know, with the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. And one of the things I did yesterday morning was an email to all the directors. It's one button, and I can email all 237 directors, let them know what was going on so that as they saw the news, it hit nationally, they would already be on top of it with us and understand. So the response I got was amazing. And what I understand is we are in Utica, New York right now, really living every zoo director's worst fear.
Yeah.
What keeps people awake at night, is that somebody's going to get hurt. So in this case, it was an error. And in every industry, people make mistakes, but they aren't always, life-threatening. Some industries are a mistake. And in this case, for this particular animal, it's a lion. So
now,
it was a mistake.
when you're saying there's a mistake, there's an error, I would imagine you're also saying that we got very lucky.
We got so lucky, and it's really because of the person who did have a distraction, missed a gate that was left open.
Okay.
But she, once it was found, in the face of danger, she did several things that made the incident not get worse. It could have been so much worse. So I'll just describe a little bit. A gate was left open. Our keeper went into the yard to put bones around for enrichment.
Yeah.
And then the female lion was actually going to be brought back out onto the yard to enjoy the bones. The two males were going to have their bones inside.
And that would be done with an automated gate?
It's a gate.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a series of pulleys and all of these protocols in place.
So you can do it, and so the zookeeper can do it and be safe.
Yep, you do it all from a whole area that has no access whatsoever to lions.
Okay, all right.
But she missed a gate.
Oh, boy.
She ended up walking, past this open gate, and then the male lion came out behind her. He was probably surprised she was out there. She was surprised he was out there. She distracted him. She kept eye contact. She backed away from him. She got him, by distracting him, she got him to an area quite far away from the gate that she would exit that would go back out into the zoo. She made sure he couldn't just leap and get out that gate. She locked the gate with injuries and then flagged down a fellow keeper to get her help, and where she then ended up getting treated and released. It could have been so much worse. We are in awe of her quick thinking and action to protocol. We drill this. We practice these with the intent to never have to use it.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't at the zoo. I ended up pulling over a lot of times. I texted Jeff once from the Amsterdam exit and once from Dollar Tree and Skylar, Jeff, when I was texting you and talking to you. Yesterday, one of the gift shop staff said to me, you would be so proud if you could have heard the radio, could have seen everyone in action. They were calm, swift, going to protocol, going to the drill.
Wow.
I can only imagine the look on your face when you get that call.
I didn't get the call, actually. I saw it. We have this cool app on our phone, and I was being grandma on Tuesday, and I was holding my baby granddaughter, and I happened to look at my phone, and I saw the words ambulance, zookeeper, lion on the app, and immediately called the zoo because it was in the middle and said, why am I seeing these words all at one time? And quite honestly, it is a little emotional right now because what we've realized is a few days after is when it all settles in. Yeah. Because that's when you start thinking, like, whoa.
What could have happened?
What could it have been? So we actually brought in a crisis team yesterday to work with our team. Mm-hmm. We stayed closed, as you know, which was, the great thing to do. Oh, I'm good. Thanks.
So gather yourself just there.
Yeah.
And so if I could, without, and obviously you're going to tell me if there's something you can't answer, but was it when the lion actually first saw that he was in contact with a person, that's when the bite initially happened?
So this is the first time I'm actually sharing this, but it was public. It was on social media. So there was a person that actually, who's close to the keeper, actually posted on social media and said, liken it to this. Your house cat bats at you and then kind of goes away.
I see. Okay.
And what this relative said was, if this lion wanted to kill this keeper, it would have.
Yeah.
So, we can't get in the minds of the lion. We're really big at the zoo on that. I have to say this word slow because it's a hard one. Anthropomorphize, which means you give human tendencies to animals. Mm-hmm. We try really hard not to do that at the zoo, and we can't be in their mind. They are wild animals. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
They were born at the zoo, but they're instinct, they're wild animals. But like this relative said, if this lion had wanted to kill our keeper, they would have.
It would have happened. And it had that opportunity.
It had the opportunity,
Wow.
and we're just so grateful.
You know, we were talking yesterday or the day before about how I always get uncomfortable when I see sometimes parents are so trusting of a dog. And there's the child, the little toddler, grabbing the dog's face and kissing the dog. It is so dangerous. And at any point, that dog the animal instincts could kick in, right?
It's true. I mean, I won't go into the long story, but I used to work at a place where a coworker ran out of the work site because got a phone call that their trusted dog had bit their baby daughter in the face. So yeah, again, we work at a zoo, so we know we don't take any animals for granted about the fact that they are wild.
Yeah.
Even the exotic animals, but even our domestic animals. We give that respect. That's the word we use. We give the respect to the fact that they are wild animals, and we work within that parameter.
And I got to say that I'll apologize because just in my thoughts, I'm like, Andrea can't just get on the phone and chat with us. Yesterday it was. And you had said that
she wanted
and I
the
understood,
employees to hear from her before they heard her on the radio.
I understood that you didn't want them to be coming in and hearing you on the radio talking about this, but it's deeper than that. It's emotional, and I didn't realize that. And
yeah, and also I had a lot of formalities I had to do yesterday, which I didn't know that part.
Yeah,
I mean, I had to follow up with all kinds of entities. And I still have a little bit of work to do, but yesterday was a whirlwind.
Yeah, I can't
don't think
imagine.
I would have done a good job with you yesterday, and today I'm a little more able to put my thoughts together.
So what my guess is we talked about in promoting having you come on that we would be talking about what things have been put in place to make sure this doesn't happen again. It sounds like everything was in place.
Yes, but we will review all of our protocols. We've
Okay.
actually already added a couple things. Like one of the things, this is the thing that got me teared up yesterday, but I think I can say it out loud.
Okay.
One of the things I learned is that in the incident, our keeper dropped her radio. It was knocked off her. So, one of my first things is we got to take a look at our radios. Maybe there's some kind of a tether that people hook to their, belt loop, et cetera, so that doesn't happen. So, there's things that you learn from everything. We'll come out of this stronger. Yeah. So we're going to review our protocols. Right now, there's a morning meeting occurring so that people can review some of the strong points of the protocol. So, but yeah, interestingly, I was just talking with the Utica Police Department on Monday because we're going to drill this week and next week. We're going to, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to do a tabletop and then an actual drill for dangerous animal escape. And we've invited the Utica Police Department to be part of that with us. So, we're always doing this.
Yeah. So the zookeeper, without getting too specific, is she planning to return to work?
Oh, absolutely. I've been, texting with her, and we're kind of like, whoa, take a little bit of time because the mindset of a zookeeper, their passion is amazing. And I think she wanted to come back to work today.
Yeah, wow.
But instead, we're going to talk to each other today
Yeah,
because, you have to take a little time for that as well. But yeah, very, very much committed, feels like, how could I have missed that? But again, we all make errors in our work. And we want to create a culture that realizes people make errors because we want people to be able to come to us and say, oh, I had a near miss. I almost made this mistake, but I caught myself. Right. Let me tell you all about it so that y'all know not to do that. We want that kind of culture.
I got to say, though, that you cannot, yes, the mistake was made, but this is a person who apparently was able to react under pressure, under probably the scariest pressure that anyone would ever experience.
I can't imagine that feeling.
Did not ever panic, and then went right back into protocol and knew enough to figure out a way to de-escalate and get out of there.
I have chills hearing you say it.
Yeah.
I've been saying it, but hearing you say it, I have chills. And when you make mistakes or someone around you makes a mistake, you learn from it. I'm confident. And this particular staff person people have been asking, so I'll say it, has been with us a number of years, highly trained. Again, there was some distraction, and where a gate thought was to be closed, it actually was opened. So it was a mistake. But So we'll move on with her caring about her and all of our team. That's why we took yesterday.
Yep.
And the other reason we took yesterday is people will be curious, and I can understand curiousness, and so can our staff. But there are also some people that are just downright rude and, I hate to say the word, but idiotic.
Yeah.
The other thing, in case people have missed it, this line will not be harmed.
We've talked about that.
Right.
Yeah.
There's nothing. That was not the thought.
Right.
This lion was being a lion.
Yeah.
And this lion will not be harmed. And our lions are going to be observed the next 30 days to make sure, everything's okay with them, and they'll still be out at some point. They probably won't be out first thing this morning because, again, our keepers are reviewing protocol, and we want to make sure that's all signed off on before they start to do their work again.
And the other part of this that cannot go unnoticed is this isn't just little Utica Zoo, and sometimes we just take it for granted. The zoo's always been there. So as long as we've been around, right, the zoo's always been there. We forget that you have trained zookeepers.
All over the country.
You
They
have
come here to work from all over the country.
And that you have these are, whether you're talking about the primates or you're talking about these are animals that at any point could, and probably you have several of them, that could cause a great deal of harm and even death.
We do the drills for a number of dangerous animals, code red animals. So, yeah. And, I did want to mention again that we are accredited with the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, and we actually had me scheduled to come on yesterday to talk about our accreditation, and we're still doing Spooktacular this weekend. It's one of our big fundraisers every year. We need this, especially if we're going to put in some new things and new protocols. We still need the support of people, because when you start to say we're a small zoo in a small city, we've said this before, guys, we've talked about this. It's unique for a size city the size of Utica, a county the size of Oneida County, to have a zoo. We are a private, not-for-profit. We receive some marginal funding. We're grateful for it. It's about a 10% of our $3.1 million budget.
Wow.
From Oneida County. We get in-kind services from Utica. We just got the new visitor center funded by the ARPA funding, federal funding through the city of Utica. So we get support that way. But so Spooktacular is a 2-day event. It's big for us. Our winter season, coming every day, seeing the animals in different ways. It's a big part of how we support ourselves, contributions.
Let's not forget you're open
every day but Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Every day but Thanksgiving and Christmas, and in this very unique situation.
Yeah. We say UZ363 is one of our hashtags.
Okay.
And this accreditation, it's big. It's not a reaccreditation. It's every 5 years you have to get newly accredited. Big application process, and more importantly, in the summer, July, probably late June, early July, a major inspection of just everything you can imagine, and it's going to be very costly to continuously keep ourselves up.
Okay.
Do you think this incident jeopardizes in any way the accreditation?
I don't think it jeopardizes. One of my first texts was to the overall head of accreditation Tuesday night, and what day is today? It was Monday night.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Today's Thursday.
Okay, that night.
The incident was Tuesday.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm off.
I can understand. Yeah.
That night, one of my first texts was to the overall head person. He called me the next morning, and a couple questions when we were able to say, we drill, we do this, we do that. He said, excellent. They'll probably visit us. ACA will probably visit us. We have 30 days to do a really intense report.
Which is good. It keeps you want to be on your toes.
To be accredited, I mentioned this before, there's about 2,800 animal entities in the country. Only 237 are accredited.
Wow.
That's part of being accredited. We expect a review. We expect them to come and see us. I have a 30-day to do a big report. That's part of being accredited.
Yeah.
You don't just brush this stuff off.
Well, this is really quite the amazing story. I have to say, it's not every day you get an alert on your phone or somebody texts and says there was actually an employee bitten by a lion at the zoo tonight.
And to be clear, was it bitten? It wasn't. It was. You said you described the batting.
Yeah, so we're not really going to go into the details of the injury.
Gotcha.
But the good news is she's already home.
Right. That's and we'll be back to work.
And we'll come back to
Yeah,
work. You
all right.
just want to give her like a minute to take a deep breath.
Spectacular.
No stupid questions. When you come by, and are you the one? Don't even ask that question.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Days and hours for
So
Spectacular.
this Saturday, Sunday, 10 to 4, Spooktacular. Let me just tell you, please go to the Facebook page for Utica Zoo. I just went on it to try to say some of the things that are going on, and it is so extensive. But we have live music from Sydney Irving on Saturday, Max Sheldon on Sunday, the Happy Hags Dance Troupe on Sunday, a magician, karate display. MVCC is doing scientific experiments. The animals will be out. We have 13 trick-or-treat stations. I mean, I can just barely even say it all. It's kind of like Spooktacular for not too scary. We changed that a few years ago. And Harvesty, so there's crafters and vendors.
Nice.
So that's a really, really big deal. And then the following weekend, we do Pumpkin Smash, which is where we give enrichment of pumpkins to our animals. And that's kind of a cool thing, too, because the animals do, they do natural behaviors with pumpkins, like dig for them or tear them apart, etc.
Very cool. All right, Andrea, thank you. And we really appreciate you explaining everything that went down.
Yeah, we try to be very transparent.
Yep, thank you so much. And good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And good luck today, as a matter of fact. Okay, it's 7:45. All right, Devin, let's do Hobika's free money question of the day. We'll do caller number 3, okay, if we can do that.
Yeah.
And it's $200 this morning. I got to move quickly. Brandon Williams, Congressman, on the line. We'll do Hobika's contest coming up next. And we'll do it here on WIBX.
Fall in love with being home again with a new mattress from Central New York's newest furniture and mattress store, Ashley, in the Marcy Town Plaza on River Road in Marcy. Shop our huge selection on display and in stock by Ashley, Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Tempur-Pedic. Right now, Ashley Hybrid Queen mattresses are just $6 a month or only $2.99. Sealy Posturepedic or Ashley Anniversary Queen mattresses, firm, plush, or pillow top, your choice, just $12 a month or only $5.99. Plus, experience better sleep and save on a luxurious Tempur-Pedic Queen mattress, just $41 a month or $21.99. Plus, get a $300 gift certificate with every Tempur-Pedic set. We have free mattress delivery, and we offer special no-interest financing for every budget with up to 5 years interest-free. Whether it's for the spare room, the kids, or yourself, Ashley has the mattress you need in stock and on sale right now. Save in-store only at Ashley in the Marcy Town Plaza on River Road in Marcy. Stop in today.
Robots are here, and they want revenge. See the Robot Revenge double feature tonight at Cinema Capitol. The main feature, Ex Machina, the 2015 movie that foreshadows what AI can and will do. Plus, the original robot, Maria, from the 1928 movie Metropolis, in an original short film. The Robot Revenge double feature with Ex Machina, tonight at 7 at Cinema Capitol. For more details, visit RomeCapital.com.
Hi, it's Joe Carbone from Power Sports of Utica. It's our end of the model year blowout sale. With over 450 units for sale. Save up to $3,500 on side-by-sides, $3,000 on snowmobiles, $3,000 on watercraft, up to $2,000 on 4x4s, financing as low as 1.99. Save thousands on all used inventory. Save up to 70% on general merchandise. October 16th through the 28th.
Oh, that's me. Listen, tell you about Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Daylight Donuts with pumpkin lattes and of course, the apple cider donuts are back, and all that pumpkin spice is back for the fall season. And the drive-thru is lightning fast. And Thanksgiving is just around the corner. Time to think about those amazing melt-in-your-mouth family recipe snowflake rolls for your Thanksgiving dinner. We usually do 2 dozen every year for Christmas and for Thanksgiving, so you know you have to order them in advance. You can stop in to Daylight Donuts in New Hartford or call them at 315-724-7103 to order your snowflake rolls for the holidays at Daylight Donuts.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, Mark, good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
Good. We're ready for Hobika's free money question of the day. It is a chance for you to walk away With this morning on the line is $200 from the Hobeika Law Firm. Joseph and Andrew Hobeika, 315-724-1600. Coming right up, we'll talk to Congressman Brandon Williams. You okay over there? You're just getting prepped, Mark. You're getting ready to go.
Yes, that's
Okay.
right. That's
All
right.
Okay. All right, here we go. Here is your question. If you are told to press Octothorpe, what device are you likely using? Ready, go.
Octothorpe.
Press the Octothorpe.
An iron?
Okay, I didn't get that answer. What was your answer?
An iron?
An iron. The answer, I never knew this. An Octothorpe is also a hashtag, is also called the number sign. An Octothorpe, if you're asked to press Octothorpe, you're probably using a telephone.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or a computer.
Or a computer, right. It could be the computer as well.
It's the hashtag button?
Hashtag is called, the official name for that is Octothorpe. My guess is, being a nuclear submarine expert, Congressman Brandon Williams would have known that, but we have no idea. We will give you the Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card, $25 gift card at Aquavino, Babes, 72 Tavern and Grill, Taylor and the Cook, and the concession stands at Nexus and Adirondack Bank Center. Stand by. Davey's going to take care of you, okay?
You're never losing on the Keeler show.
You never lose. You're always a winner. All right, stand by, Mark. Have a great day. Devin, take care of him. On the line right now, Congressman Brandon Williams. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bill. How are you?
Did you know the answer to Octothorpe?
I did not.
Yeah, I didn't either. Never heard of that.
That was a fun question, though. I mean, I was really trying to piece it together. It got me going this morning.
Yeah, and it's that whole, if you're told to press Octothorpe, it's got to either be a computer or a telephone. Turns out, telephone. All right, wow. What in the hell is going on with the Speaker of the House situation?
Yeah, it's a big mess. There's just a division within the Republican conference, and we got to work it out. And, I supported McCarthy, and I think we were heading in a good direction of wins for the American people. And that got turned upside down, and so I supported Scalise. Remember, Steve is the only one that came up to support me during the general election to campaign for me, and that got turned upside down. I supported Jim Jordan. That's what the conference voted for, and now it looks like we're maybe back to square one.
So
I'm ready to push the Octothorpe.
Oh, you're ready to push the Octothorpe. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know what will happen when I do that, but it sounds maybe therapeutic.
So you voted twice for Jim Jordan, and if it comes up a third time, will you still vote for him? Because we're hearing from Republican members that there will be more defections if that were to happen today.
One of the great things about the last name Williams is I get to vote almost at the very end.
Wow, right.
And so I get to see everything. I take careful notes of, everyone that's voted. And, I don't see we haven't had a vote in our conference to support any other speaker. And my commitment really is to support the Republican team. So we'll have to wait and see what it looks like on the floor. But I don't see any reason to change right now. We don't have a plan. That's what bothers me.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can you talk about the situation in Israel, what your take is? And I understand there were some protests, several hundred arrested yesterday outside the Capitol.
Inside the Cannon Rotunda, which is the Cannon office building, there were 500 protesters illegally had come in and had sat down in the Rotunda. There were, frankly, 500 of them, and there was one of me. We found an Israeli flag, and I stood and with the Israeli flag over this group that, clearly is a pro-Palestine group, and I was happy to stand with Israel. And one of the Capitol Police officers came up and asked me to take it down. I told him no, and he went to talk to his supervisor to arrest me, and they decided not to do that.
Wow!
So
you were right in the middle of this yesterday.
Stand up and do what's right.
Some of the shirts they were wearing were Jews for ceasefire. Now that I assume that they're Jewish, younger people who don't necessarily agree with what's going on, but I guess we don't know. I didn't realize you were in the middle of this.
Yeah, well, I was. Bill, it's not hard to stand up and do the right thing.
Yeah.
And to stand with Israel is the right thing. What's the proportional response when they massacre 1,300 innocent civilians? What's the proportional response to that? And so, the squad members of Congress that are spreading misinformation about what Israel is doing, and really has to stop.
Yeah.
And you got to stand up and do the right thing. The 1930s, enough good people didn't stand up and do the right thing, and I'm not going to be among them.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm seeing the video on your Facebook page right now. If you can imagine, anybody who's seen a lot of times these reports from Washington, there's that very large hallway like a rotunda, and you can look down over the balcony, and the congressman is holding the Israeli flag over the balcony, and there is a large group of people below. I can't hear it at the moment, but they're chanting, jumping, clapping. I'm sure there's some type of a rehearsed chant that they're going over.
Absolutely.
What was the idea that why would you? Was there any question that you would have been arrested for holding up the flag like that?
I never even thought about it. It's inconsequential to me personally. The group that is making this protest that you see in the video is their name is the Jewish Voice for Peace, and you might have seen them because they also supported defund the police,
okay.
And they supported the boycott, divestment, sanctions movement against Israel. So these are not people that are for peace. They're for people that are trying to tear apart our society, for example, like by defunding the police or by tearing down Israel. And they just don't have any legitimacy in my mind.
I want to ask you though, and believe me, I think that Netanyahu and the Israelis have been put in a position. I think we talked about this the last time we had you on. Hamas knows exactly, Iran knows exactly what Netanyahu is going to do, and they're ready to play that and to keep civilians in, so civilians are injured and killed, so that story turns people against Israel. I think that's part of that's a big part of the plan. But at the same time, I don't think it's wrong to have sympathy for the innocent people who are stuck in Gaza and are ultimately being bombed. These are people who are victims of Hamas as well, I think.
Well, I've had dinner in the homes of Palestinians in Jordan, in the refugee areas of Jordan, which is adjacent, of course, to Israel, to its east. I have Muslim friends in the region. We've had Muslim families to our home for dinner as they break their fast in the evening from Ramadan. So this is not an anti-Muslim or anti-Islam movement. This is a reaction to the murder of 1,300 innocent civilians.
Correct.
And
right.
keep in mind, Hamas isn't, the people of Gaza are not prisoners of Hamas. Hamas is the elected government of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. And the people that tolerate Hamas are also responsible for the actions of Hamas. You can't separate the two.
Right,
and I feel terrible for civilians to get caught up in the crossfire, but Hamas is the government of the Gaza people, and they are the ones that performed this action against Israel. I mean, that is an act of war, and war is terrible.
Can I just ask, though, you said you can't separate the two when talking about the people who may have elected that government, but then the people who actually made the decision to do what they did and take those more than 1,000 lives. You do have to separate the two, don't you?
Well, I think if you look at
they're being manipulated
Russia invading
completely.
Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
Do we not hold the nation of Russia responsible for the invasion of Ukraine, or do we just say Putin and a few people are the only bad guys in Russia? It's the army of the nation state of Russia that have invaded Ukraine. And it's the entire nation of Ukraine that has to fight back.
Right.
and it's not different in Israel. So you really can't separate those two. They want to separate them to create the exact sympathy and dynamic that you're talking about, Bill, but it's just, it doesn't hold up.
So and I think we have to keep in mind the reaction we had after 9/11. There were people criticizing the United States for our reaction, and there were people within the United States that were criticizing our reaction with Afghanistan. But you know, you have to do what you have to do to rid the world of terrorism. I believe, anyway. I have somebody with a question, a couple of quick ones, and then we'll let you go. I appreciate it, and did not have any idea you were in the middle of that protest yesterday. Lou, I'm going to just warn you that I need you to be respectful. Ask a question, and then let's listen to the answer. All right?
Yeah,
Lou?
are you there?
Yes, go ahead.
You're
on with Congressman Williams.
This question goes to the heart of the dysfunction that the House of Representatives is suffering now, looking at people like Matt Gaetz and Jim Jordan. So do you feel that Donald Trump was responsible for the riot that happened on January 6th?
Okay, I'm going to hang up and let you answer. I do not know what that has to do with this, but Brandon, go ahead.
I think that's quite a stretch to start tying all these things together. What I'd like to know is, why is the protest of 500 people taking over the Capitol Rotunda, or the Cannon Rotunda, why is that not reported in the same way as January 6th?
Well, Brandon, in all respect, they didn't break windows and break in. They weren't trying to interrupt the election of a president. They weren't violent. There is a difference.
Well,
I mean, you were there. You saw it. These people were sitting and doing what Americans do. Americans do protest. It's part of our history.
Well, three people were arrested for assaulting Capitol police officers yesterday in the Cannon Rotunda. So,
did you watch January 6th? Did you watch it?
I really didn't.
Okay, no comparison. Sorry. I watched yesterday's protest. Zero comparison. I watched both of them. All full protests. You were there. Obviously, you see things that I didn't see on television, but I watched the coverage yesterday, and there was I see no comparison. These were people who were peacefully protesting versus people who were trying to prevent the completion of an election. I do not see a comparison.
There's no excuse to storm the Capitol. There's
Correct.
Absolutely no excuse for what happened that day.
And to be fair, I don't believe that this should even be brought into any of this. The comparison is not there. It shouldn't be. This is a completely different issue. But at the same time, I do not draw a comparison and see an equivalence here at all.
Well, there were three people that were arrested yesterday for assaulting Capitol Police yesterday, and I think that's a very serious,
no doubt,
event. And I think to just say that it's a peaceful protest, except for assaulting three police officers, is not an acceptable description of what happened yesterday.
Well, you had three people who were arrested, but are you saying there's a comparison that this that happened yesterday is equivalent to what happened on January 6th?
Well, your caller was saying that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that you're describing it as a peaceful event, and I'm telling you it wasn't.
Well, listen, no event is exclusively peaceful. Right? I mean, and ultimately the police were able to arrest people.
Then let's not call it peaceful, Bill.
All right, well, then we can do that.
But about what it is. These are people that are supporting Hamas. And why are we having and allowing any kind of support for a terrorist organization inside a federal building, inside the legislative offices of our Congress?
Well, as far as I understand with the reporting, it was an illegal entry into the building, number one. And in America, we have the right to have opposing opinions.
Yes, but not in the Capitol building.
Which is why it was illegal and why three people were arrested.
Capitol office
right?
building.
Which is why it was illegal and three people were arrested, right?
There's actually a lot of arrests.
Well, there are a lot of people who were arrested yesterday.
I believe they were all being arrested because they were there. They basically were trespassing, so they were all breaking the law, so they all should have been arrested.
And I believe they were.
Again, I understand where I don't know why Lou would even bring that into this. Maybe he wants to know.
Well, they want to distract from what's going on,
Sure.
Bill. That's
Fair
the real
enough.
issue is why can't we just push everything back to Donald Trump and make it all his fault? Why are we talking about that? That's what I find insulting about.
I don't think it's an off the wall, out of the ballpark question to know how you feel about what's going on with Donald Trump right now and what happened on January 6th. And because he's currently
I've never met Donald Trump. I've never spoken to him.
I understand, but he's currently facing prosecution. Do you feel that's an unfair? Do you feel it's a witch hunt? Do you feel it's unfair?
Say that again?
Do you feel, I think the question would be, and maybe this is where Lou was going. I do not want to try to figure out where he was going. But is it, I don't think it's out of the question to understand where you feel, is he being unfairly prosecuted, Donald Trump? Whether you know him or not, he's a former president.
My responsibility right now is to get a speaker in the speaker's chair in the House of Representatives and to represent the people of New York's 22nd District.
Fair enough.
Those are the things that I focus on, Bill.
And listen,
just to be perfectly honest, that's where I spend 100% of my time. I don't spend my time anywhere else.
And listen, I am completely shocked that you were there in the middle of this yesterday, and the fact that you stood there and picked up an Israeli flag. I completely am with you and agree, and am incredibly impressed that you did that, and maybe not surprised either.
There's 500 of them, and there was one of me, and I'll take those odds all day.
Of course, you have a great deal of military experience, which is also impressive, and we appreciate your service. One more. I have somebody asking, ask Brandon how he could vote for Jordan when he has not sponsored a bill, according to reports, and not passed a bill that has been passed by Congress, according to sources. Asking, how do you justify voting for Jordan? You were a McCarthy guy. Certainly for quite some time.
Well, he got the majority of the conference, number one, right? And our conference rules say if you get the majority and you go to the floor, that the conference will vote for you. Those are the rules, and people have been breaking the rules certainly since I've been there. 15 rounds for McCarthy, and everything you've seen since.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that Jim Jordan has served in the minority. You know, with Nancy Pelosi as the chair, there's not a whole lot of Republican bills that ever got through whatsoever. So there is some historical context there, as I understand it.
Is there someone out there that okay,
Bill? That is, I certainly hope so.
I know.
There are some very good people in the conference, and I hope that we get one that will get support of 217. Keep in mind that all of these votes, 208 or 211 Democrats have voted against the Republican candidate. 208 voted to depose McCarthy and to vacate McCarthy. So I certainly blame the 8 Republicans that joined with the 208 Democrats, but we didn't. They didn't do it alone.
Well, there were, I think, 20 Republicans yesterday that voted for somebody else, but.
22.
22.
I think.
So what was he? I hate to say they broke away with the coverage before they got to the W's. And that's just unfair. That's a disadvantage of having a last name that starts with a W. They're like, okay, it's all over.
I don't know if I want the notoriety, but hey, Bill, I'll send you a picture of my card where I kept all the vote tally. I'll shoot you a picture of that. You can put it up.
I would love to see that. I have one more. What you're saying is, wouldn't it be amazing if moderate or conservative Democrats stepped up to say this is wrong for the country and joined with moderate Republicans and said, let's elect someone that we can all live with? That would be the right thing for America. Are you saying that?
Well, I certainly wish they had done that with McCarthy and prevented this in the first place.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that, and here we are.
Love to see that card. I would love to see it.
All right, we'll shoot you a picture. Nobody else has that. I'll send it to you.
Congressman, thank you so much, and thank you for what you did yesterday.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks so much. It's 808 WIBX Utica Rome. We'll come back and talk about it. You want to talk about it as well. 315-736-0186. Manaski has news coming up next.
AmeriQ's Virtual Financial Center is now open. Perform nearly any transaction with a real person from the comfort and convenience of wherever your life takes you. Easily become an AmeriQ member. Open a deposit account, apply for a loan, and connect with the live person via video when you need us. Visit ameriq.org/virtualfc to get started. AmeriQ and you. Let's connect. Virtually. Membership eligibility is required. Insured by NCUA.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When Freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-990-8755 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-990-8755. That's 800-990-8755. What do you have to lose? Call 800-990-8755. Again, 800-990-8755.
We have some sunshine, 45 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:11. This news.
Can I just say one difference? And I wish I'd have said this to Brandon Williams. So, what is the difference between what happened yesterday and what happened on January 6th? Here's the difference. Brandon Williams wasn't. There were no congressmen standing in the rotunda in Congress, in the hallways of Congress. There were no congressmen standing there because they were fleeing for their lives. Republicans and Democrats. They were hiding under chairs and under desks. That's the difference between what happened yesterday and what happened on January 6th. Sorry. Manaski.
This news update is brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Buy any 4 installed Nokian snow or all-weather tires and get a $100 instant rebate. The Utica Zoo reopening today after a worker was attacked by a lion earlier this week. We spoke with the zoo's executive director, Andrea Delisle-Heath, last hour. She says the zookeeper was taking part in routine closing and feeding procedures when the incident occurred. Now, that zookeeper was taken to a nearby hospital, released later in the evening. She is expected to recover and return to the Utica Zoo. The incident is under investigation. There were never any threats or safety issues for other staff members or visitors following the incident on Tuesday because of the quick action and the following of protocol by the zookeeper who was attacked. That's what Heath said when we spoke to her last hour here on the Keeler Show. Governor Kathy Hochul is in Tel Aviv, touching down this morning for what she calls a solidarity mission amid the ongoing war overseas. Governor Hochul will return to the Empire State on Friday. New legislation signed that will help support Stop DWI programs across New York. It requires surcharges that are assessed to drivers caught driving while impaired, and those funds will be used for local drunk driving prevention programs. And actor Kelsey Grammer will be making a stop at a local bar, 16 Stone Brew Pub, next Thursday from 3 to 5 p.m. He'll be pouring Faith American Ale, a beer brand that he launched back in 2018. WIBX News Time is 8:13. Your Weather Center forecast brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica, located on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Best day of the week is likely today. We're expecting to have sunny skies with us for a chunk of the afternoon at least. Today's high 66. Mostly cloudy overnight tonight, a low of 53. Rain showers expected, especially tomorrow afternoon, with a high of 66. Rain Saturday, 59. Could see more rain Sunday with a high of just 49. We have some sunshine right now. Chilly start, 45 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:14. All right, moving quickly in sports, I'll just mention the Houston Astros got one back last night. They defeated the Texas Rangers a final of 8-5. Game 4 in that series coming up from Arlington tonight. Also, the NLCS resumes tonight. The Phillies currently hold a 2-0 series lead, but the series now shifts to Phoenix, home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Thursday night football. Jacksonville heads to the Big Easy to take on the Saints. Jacksonville looking for its 4th consecutive victory. Starting quarterback Trevor Lawrence, though dealing with a knee issue, is listed as questionable. The Saints have actually won the last 4 meetings between these two teams. The New York Jets were involved in a trade with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Jets get a 2025 6th-round pick in exchange for Mecole Hardman and a 2025 7th-rounder. The Jets had just signed Hardman in the offseason to a 1-year deal worth about $4 million. He played just 28 snaps and caught only 1 pass so far this season. Previously, Hardman had spent time with the Kansas City Chiefs.
It's going to be very interesting to see Brandon Williams' voting card that he was tallying yesterday as the votes were coming down. I don't know if you saw any of that as they were voting, but at one point it looked like Jordan was actually able to accomplish some of those people that had voted against him to get them to vote for him. And then the additional votes came in. There were a few one person that I don't believe was present, and then the votes came in for Scalise and for other people. Even, you know who even got a vote yesterday? Lee Zeldin got a vote for Speaker yesterday. Thought that was pretty interesting. 315-736-0186. Coming up also, we'll talk to Cliff Crandle. At 76 years of age, he prepares for, wait till you hear this, pretty darn cool. If you have severe back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, there's help. And we're talking about the Omni Surgery Center with Dr. Hyder. There is assistance. You don't have to live with the pain. Go to their website, which is appropriately named killpain.com. Killpain.com. Call 315-765-8448. The Omni Surgery Center with Dr. Hyder, with a location in the Utica Business Park, and the surgery center is located on French Road. Call today and schedule an appointment. 315-765-8448. You do not have to live with the pain. Go to killpain.com.
When we come back, plenty of comments. Some agree with you, and some disagree with you.
Isn't that the way it is and probably is supposed to be? 315-736-0186 if you want to make it a phone call. We'll do that before Cliff Crandle. It's 8:17 at WIBX.
Robots are here, and they want revenge. See the Robot Revenge double feature tonight at Cinema Capitol. The main feature, Ex Machina, the 2015 movie that foreshadows what AI can and will do. Plus the original robot, Maria, from the 1928 movie Metropolis in an original short film. The Robot Revenge double feature with Ex Machina tonight at 7 at Cinema Capitol. For more details, visit RomeCapital.com.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply and the New Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them 315-724-6767 and online at HNHMedicalNY.com. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies, we make life easier.
It's obvious the unthinkable is happening. With all the recent media distractions, most folks never saw it coming. But a few did. Their guts told them something very wrong was going on. And now the headlines are proving them right. The people in charge keep telling you that everything's fine and to stop noticing. But you know better. Folks are investing in emergency food storage, and you should too. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, are the ones you can trust. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one for each family member. My Patriot Supply also sells biomass stoves, off-grid room heaters for when the power goes out, gravity-powered water filters, heirloom seeds, and survival gear that may come in handy soon. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. It's time to prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
Your pet isn't just a pet, they're part of your family. Most of the pet food on the market is cooked at high temperatures, which kills nutrients. A scoop of Dynavite is a 3-in-1 daily supplement, adding back key nutrients to your pup's health. Try Dynavite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio. That's Dynavite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dynavite.
Ready for a smoother and safer ride? Head to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, you'll get expert advice from their knowledgeable staff, who know that every vehicle is different. And right now, it's the pre-season tire sale at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Buy any 4 installed Nokian snow or all-weather tires and $100 instant rebate. Get the tires you and your vehicle deserve at the best prices guaranteed. From Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Online at tallmanstire.com.
Hi, it's Joe Carbone from Power Sports of Utica. It's our end of the model year blowout sale. With over 450 units for sale. Save up to $3,500 on side-by-sides, $3,000 on snowmobiles, $3,000 on watercraft, up to $2,000 on 4x4s, financing as low as 1.99, save thousands on all used inventory. Save up to 70% on general merchandise. October 16th through the 28th.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey, and Sarah's Flooring Outlet is the area's leading store for flooring. And if you're looking for any type of flooring, they have it, and they have the largest inventory in all of Central New York at their all-new Route 49 Plaza. Sign up for a coupon worth $50 off their website and get 6 months interest-free financing right now in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy. If it's flooring, it's in Sarah's. Sal and his crew have you completely covered with everything from tile to carpeting, linoleum. Is that what I said? Did I say linoleum?
Yes, you
Be
did.
what my 3-year-old, when my kids were 3 years old, would have said. That's not tile, it's linoleum. Whatever the flooring, and of course Mohawk Pergo Extreme is an amazing product, and it's the price guarantee. Within a 60-mile radius of their store, you will get the best price on Pergo Extreme at Sarah's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, and online in sarahsflooringoutlet.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, Lou, stand by. I'm going to get to you coming up, but I want to get through the comments first. And I'm only saying that because we might take Lou and never get to the comments. So it's better we get to the comments first.
Okay,
and Manansky has a ton, and I have a ton as well.
Big Honey commented on a couple of things this morning.
First of all, Big Honey's comment on the zoo, I know we weren't going to read when Andrea was here, but I think you have to read it.
Yes. Well, he said it's funny because I think you're going to laugh at one of his comments and be annoyed by the other. What he said was, let's see. Well, I've lost it here now. This might be the best thing that ever happened to the Utica Zoo, attendance-wise. He said, I'm definitely going now.
I'm glad you didn't read that when Andrea was here because I didn't realize how emotional that was for the zoo. But I'm going to say there was a thought in my mind. If you were not thinking about the Utica Zoo, you are right now. And the fact that we easily forget that these are dangerous animals that are there at the zoo that we get to see safely whenever we want. 363 days out of the year.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so and then Big Honey followed up to say, Bill, is it like January 7th in your world every day? It's been 3 years and a very involved investigation with plenty of arrests. Please find something else to blame on Trump.
Stop it for a second.
That one is
Big
wore
Honey,
out.
Big Honey, excuse me. I'm simply reacting to, I believe it's Lou that brought it up. And it was Congressman Williams that said, how is this any different than January 6th. That's why I commented. It is different. There's a complete difference. I mean, and the point I made earlier, the fact that he was standing there with an Israeli flag, and I respect that tremendously, and I don't think Israel has any other choice but to do what they're doing. I fully support them. These are tough. They're going to be tough visuals to see, right? The pictures we're going to see on TV. But our support needs to be with Israel, period. But at the same time, sorry, you cannot compare a protest that happened yesterday to January 6th.
Patricia says, and I believe this is in regard to Gaza, 50% of the population is under 15. I don't know exactly what she's referring to.
The other part of this that he's not referencing, and that you have to consider these people. Like getting in aid as long as it goes to the how do you get it to go to the civilians? And it doesn't go to the people who are fighting the Israelis.
Right.
But at the same time, you're talking about impoverished people. You're talking about people that have no means. And by the way, no other country wants to let them in right now. They really don't have any place to go. And then some may very well be bought in. They're bought into the anti-Semitism and the hatred of Jews. But at the same time, how do you blame these 10-year-old kids, 5-year-old kids, and babies?
Dewey, I agree. Dewey in New Hartford says, wow, thank you, Bill, for trying to set this guy straight. And conservative John in Boonville says, never thought I'd see the day where Bill would call a pro-rally for Hamas peaceful in the name of freedom.
Stop right there. You live in a country where we have the freedom to protest no matter what your issue. You may be on the wrong side of something, but you have the right to do it. You may hate. You have the right to hate. In America, if you challenge someone's right on one side, you're challenging your own position. So that's why we have free speech, free expression. I completely support their right to protest, and I also support the right of the Capitol Police to arrest every one of them because they're trespassing. This is basic civics. Sorry.
He and Liberal Lou should have a sleepover pajama party and talk about how great Palestinians are and how awful January 6th American patriots are. Good God.
Well, you clearly didn't hear what I said, and you clearly didn't pay attention in history class.
Liberal Lou.
Liberal Lou. I'm sorry we label you that liberal, or Lou, but we have no other way to define you because there's another Lou out there, and he's not you. All right, Lou, you opened up a whole hornet's nest here.
Long-winded,
yeah,
Lou.
Well, hey, I'm getting my pajamas ready, Bill. When can I come over?
But just for the record, I didn't think that had any place in this conversation, tying it back to Trump. I don't agree with that. Where were you going? Did you just want to know his opinion on whether or not Trump was responsible for January 6th? Or are you trying to...
Where I was going was, I mean, he somehow equated it with Israel. No, as I prefaced it, there's dysfunction right now in the House of Representatives. I mentioned Matt Gaetz.
No, there is. Jordan. Sure there is.
These are two people who were in the middle of the election fraud. Now, there were like 100 other Republican congressmen who voted to deny the election. So my point is, if you're Congressmates can't even respond to probably the most proper election we've ever had, as experts have said. How can they function in the House of Representatives? And they have Jim Jordan, who even refused a subpoena in the House of Representatives, and he's voting for Jim.
Isn't it going the way that it probably should? Because there are yesterday 22 members, 22 Republicans did not vote for Jim Jordan, and I got to say that based on predictions from Republicans for today, if they come back with another vote for Jim Jordan, there will be more who will vote against him.
Yeah, it's dysfunction in their party, and Brandon just deflected the question. He never answered it.
I know he didn't
you properly re-asked him, and he would not respond to you, and he won't admit that something horrible happened, and it could have been directly traced to the president of his party. He will not.
All right, well, let's talk about yesterday. Do you at least agree that you respect the fact of what he did yesterday, grabbing an Israeli flag and standing there amongst all those protesters in support of Israel? Do you at least support that?
Yeah, definitely. I think what happened was horrific. Hamas should be disintegrated from the planet. But
correct.
Jeff asked a tremendous question, Jeff, and Brandon's response was horrific. So he says that he's comparing Gaza to Russia. No, Ukraine and we have not been bombing civilians in Russia, number one. Number two, he's saying Russia is responsible for the war. Yes, they are. Are Russian citizens responsible? Well, maybe, because in polling in Russia, I don't know how good the polls are, but they're saying 80-90% of Russians back Putin. But
that's not real, though.
In I think it was 2 years ago in Gaza,
right.
30% of the Palestinians support Hamas.
Yeah, but
and they say, are you listening?
Go ahead. Sorry, Lou.
You have been scolded. Go ahead, Lou.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, you can finish.
Go
ahead.
Did you hear what I said about his responses? That it was horrible to just question that.
Yeah, no, and I to follow up, I guess, on the point that you're trying to make. I guess I don't know. I guess that's the question. Do you look at the killing of, let's say, Russian civilians, the same as, well, look, their army did this, so we kill civilians? If someone were to say, look, the United States government is helping Ukraine, so then therefore Russia would be justified in attacking our civilians because we elected the government that exists.
I'm not sure how I'm not comfortable with calling Hamas a government such as the Russian government.
Right.
There's no
the
comparison
leadership,
there.
the entity, I guess, that has the most say and makes that decision.
It's a terrorist organization.
Correct.
They hate
Correct.
Jews.
And it's a dictatorship, too, yeah. It's a dictatorship.
Correct.
They won an election 15 years ago. They got 40% of the vote.
So and this is where I disagree, to blame the civilians there because they voted them in. Well, you don't have any choice. Can you imagine if you didn't vote them in?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a free society, like a free election that happens here in this country. So
well, understand what's happened since there has been no election because they become a dictatorship and refused the Gazans further elections because they know they're going to lose.
And the other part is you don't really think the polls in Russia are accurate, right?
I hope they're not, but I don't know. I've seen American polls that are supposedly done in Russia. They're not Russian polls.
Okay, well.
I don't know. I hope they're not. Let's pray that they're not. But
okay. All right,
Lou. But Brandon Williams will not respond to that question. I heard it online. It's what there's a video online. Syracuse.com interviewer asked him twice. He would not respond, and he deflected it by saying, I don't know anything about January 6th. What I was doing on January 6th, I was at the Burn Dairy, and gasoline prices were $2 a gallon.
Well, you do understand there are many political answers today. Democrats and Republicans are both guilty of giving a political answer. And here's your political...
Bill, January 6th...
Just let me say this.
In America,
in
history, if you can't respond fully and vigorously
I understand.
to the question...
My point is, though, it happens all the time. You don't answer because you know a large portion of your constituency would you're going to be in trouble if you answer it one way, and you're going to be in trouble if you answer it the other. So he doesn't want that question answered. I don't blame him for not wanting
he
that.
He should have a better answer than he has.
Maybe. Okay. All right.
He should be able to define an answer that says what happened was horrific, and some of our party members were if you're just going to lie about that, you could lie about that. Deflect. Let's deflect on minor issues. Everybody's going to do that.
Okay. Well, the beauty of it is, Lou, you'll be able to cast your vote accordingly next year.
Well, yeah, you got that right.
Okay.
But, that's another issue
all right.
Because the Electoral College bill doesn't really matter who we vote for in New York State.
All right. I appreciate it, Lou. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Bill.
All right.
Can I just say, if that number's correct, 90% of Russians support Putin and the decisions he makes, yet only 86.3% of dentists feel that dental floss is an essential part of a oral hygienic routine.
Here's Pete in Marcy. Hello, Pete.
Hey, morning, Bill.
Good morning.
I got a couple of questions. Not to beat a dead horse on the January 6th thing.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're bringing this back up. I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, you did say it was a peaceful protest yesterday. You did.
I believe it was a peaceful protest, with the exception of some people who were arrested. And I think you see that, number one, the arrests began because they were illegally there in that area of Congress.
Right.
So that's already.
How can you have a peaceful protest when you trespass, when you're there illegally, and there were people arrested? Number one. Number two, there was hundreds of people arrested on January 6th for just trespassing. If you look at some of the tapes, people were just walking through there.
No doubt about it. You're absolutely right. That's absolutely true.
So I think every one of these people need to be treated the same.
I agree. They should be arrested. However, someone who was just walking through versus someone who did something,
smashed windows out.
The penalties that they have received, in most cases, those people who were just walking through got no jail time at all.
I believe they were still arrested, and they were probably
well.
fined.
These guys were arrested too, as they should be arrested. However, here's the thing. Here's how I look at protests. Peaceful. You're not breaking in. I mean, you can't compare the two. But just let me say this: we're a country that was born on protest. We were created based on protest and uprising. However, I feel that you have the right to protest. The police also have the right, if you are breaking any law, to arrest you, and that should happen. It's a cost that you would be willing to suffer if you want to stand up for what you believe is correct. And the other part of this is, I don't agree that someone who stands up and believes that Israel is the oppressor here, and that's their opinion, and they hold a demonstration somewhere in one of the American cities or wherever, in Congress or wherever they're holding their protest, they have the right to that opinion. I don't agree with it, but in America, they have the right to that opinion.
All right.
We agree on we agree. We agree on that, right?
My issue is, why is Kathy Hochul over in Israel?
Well,
She's the governor of New York State.
Let me explain that to you, because I have all the answers today, Pete. She's
and
there.
who pays for that?
She's there to show support for the Israelis, that New York is behind them. That is the biggest waste of money. And let's not forget of all that has to be done to protect her and her staff. It is a ridiculous publicity stunt. The only thing I can think is that she thinks that she has a chance to run for president. I don't know what she's thinking. I don't understand it.
You know, they tell you in sports.
I agree.
That's no different than the mayor of Chicago and Adams down in New York City going to Venezuela or Colombia. Are you kidding me?
And Cuomo went to Cuomo.
It's a free trip.
Cuomo went to Puerto Rico. Now, although Cuomo's trip to Puerto Rico was for commerce, he claimed that he was trying to build a connection between New York and Puerto Rico because of all of the Puerto Rican citizens in New York. At least he had an excuse you could live with. This is a ridiculous waste of money and waste of resources. I completely agree with you.
As governor, and she works for the people of New York State, I believe that she would need approval for that. She just can't say, "Hey, I'm going to go to Israel."
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Taxpayers are paying for that. Well, that's the way it should be.
But Pete, are you noticing we're far closer than you really thought?
So can I just add to that? They tell you this, like Tom Brady.
Pete, thank you.
Tom Brady didn't know that who was the guy? Drew Bledsoe was going to get injured, and he was going to come in off the bench. You got to be ready. So I think Kathy Hochul sees geriatric Joe getting worse by the day, and I meant to say geriatric Joe getting worse by the day, and she's like, you know what? My Tom Brady moment could be right around the corner.
Could be. I got
to come in off the bench.
I was a big Drew Bledsoe fan. Remember, he at one point was in Buffalo.
He was, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't live up to all of the expectations. And then along came Tom Brady. I had a dream the other night out of nowhere. I woke up in the middle of the night. Tom Brady had died.
Really?
Now, one would ask, this was my wife's question. It is my question. What in the hell are you doing dreaming about Tom Brady? It's a very good question. There's something going on in my head. And it's not in any of those books. Let me tell you, there's not a single book out there about dreams where Tom Brady's even mentioned. So there's no explanation.
52% of the audience agrees, by the way, that there's something going on in your head.
8:39. Hold on, we're going to talk. And he's been waiting for a while. Got caught up in all of this. I want to bring in Cliff Crandle. Cancel the other thing, and then we'll do John at the top of the hour. Right? 8:40 at WIBX.
Rome Mayor Jackie Izzo.
As a business person, I saw Rome stalling, ran on a platform of a new beginning where we needed to concentrate on economic development, housing, jobs. And I think we've delivered on all of those. But not only that, we've done so much more. We've taken care of our infrastructure. We have increased job opportunities throughout the community. We've brought in over $70 million in grant money. Private sector investment is up near $350 million, probably more than at any time, even when Griffiths was built. And so the new beginning really doesn't have an end. That's why we need to continue this great work into the next 4 years. This has been the best experience of my life and the most humbling experience to work for the taxpayers of the city of Rome. And I hope that you will give me that opportunity to continue our work this November with your vote.
On Election Day, vote to re-elect Mayor Jackie Izzo. Let's keep Rome moving forward. Paid for by friends of Jackie Izzo.
Want to know how to get the same cell coverage for up to half the cost? Well, instead of spending a fortune building and maintaining their own cell phone towers, Consumer Cellular just pays to use the same towers as the largest carriers and passes the savings on to you. Pretty smart, huh? Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Half the cost savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single-line 5 GB data plan with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single-line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plan offered by T-Mobile and Verizon May 2023.
Your pet isn't just a pet, they're part of your family. Most of the pet food on the market is cooked at high temperatures, which kills nutrients. A scoop of Dynavite is a 3-in-1 daily supplement, adding back key nutrients to your pup's health. Try Dynavite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio. That's Dynavite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
Hey, River Hills Properties, the fastest growing real estate company in central New York. And I just want to tell you, 15 years ago, no one knew their name. Today, Bill and Robin Monjo are not alone. There are over 30 agents, 30 real estate representatives who stand up strong for each and every one of their clients. They are the number one independent real estate agency in all of central New York, and number two, if you bring in the chains. River Hills Properties, it's all about the services provided. It's all about the extra things they do for you, the seller of the home, which actually benefits the buyer as well. From the book to the fact that your listing agent is with you every step of the process and is there every time the house is shown, no lockbox. It's all of you have an assistant. You have a team working for you when you're selling your home, and that makes all the difference in the world. So why wouldn't you list with River Hills in Barnaville, Little Falls, and Utica? Online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills. And Jimmy Fallon coming to the Stanley Theater on November the 11th. It is, of course, Veterans Day. And you can purchase tickets for yourself by going to Ticketmaster.com. It's Jimmy Fallon and Kennedy at the Stanley Theater. but you can also buy tickets for a veteran. Give the gift of comedy to a local veteran on Veterans Day. And you buy a pair of tickets at the Stanley, at the box office, or by calling them. And River Hills Properties has arranged for those tickets to go to local veterans. Call the box office to purchase a pair today. Recently, on Friday of last week, somebody anonymously purchased $1,000 worth of tickets, all donated to local veterans. Pretty cool, and did not want their name mentioned. So I won't mention it.
That's very nice.
The number to call is 315-7. You don't have to do 1,000. You can just do a pair of tickets. 315-724-4000 to benefit veterans. Sponsored by River Hills Properties.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Did I cut you off? You were about to say something. And
No. Sometimes I'm about to blurt something out, and there's still part of my soul that's alive, and it says, Jeff, maybe you shouldn't. Just hold on to it.
All right. Well,
save it for another day.
Maybe I'll ask you about that after the show.
Yeah.
Okay, good idea. In studio right now is the legendary Cliff Crandle. Good morning.
Morning. Passionate
he was
morning.
Giving me advice to you must
yes.
clear it from your soul or your heart.
Your heart.
But you got to move on.
You got to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have a guest in the green room.
You're in an occupation where it's a roller coaster. There are days that you're on the downhill slide and it's a fire and it's burning and you're just hoping that you have the swoop to get back up the other hill.
You're right.
Challenge something else, but you have to move on every time. You can't. Otherwise, it bleeds into other things.
And then there are other days that are like cake.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
I
right.
like cake.
It's up and down, up and down.
Whether you like cake or you like to do other things, I have always found, and I think everybody will agree, including our guest, that when you have a buildup, whether it's of energy, anxiety, some frustration, whether you go for a walk, a jog, you lift some heavy weights, you feel better at the end of the day. And who's better than to talk to us about heavy weights? Is this? Can I say your age? 76-year-old bodybuilder, Cliff Crandle. Don't know if you heard of the guy.
Oh my!
By the way, great transition, right? That
great
was
transition,
pretty good.
Just phenomenal. Oh my gosh!
So you are kidding me, right? You are about to enter a bodybuilding competition.
Yeah. Over a year ago, for a long time now, I've been doing activities for seniors.
Yeah.
Stay active, stay involved on stillaliveandkicking.org, that website. I have like 40-some activities for seniors. And I'm constantly telling them, try new things, get out there, challenge yourself. Don't be afraid of being critiqued by other people. Give it your best. You don't have to be the best at it, but try it. And I started working out pretty diligently myself. My workouts have always been fairly good.
Yeah.
But I've had a normal body posture and structure. And I started working out, want to lose a little weight, want to lose at least 2 of the pizzas off my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind the zingers and the chocolate chip cookies and the apple cinnamon cider donuts, but the pizzas
those are so
had to
good.
go. Yeah, I love them. Mm-hmm. So I can't touch one now, right? But I started.
You're like eating. You got to be eating like lean chicken.
I'm eating terrible. I'm eating.
It's super healthy, but tastes terrible.
I'm drinking green tea 3 times a day.
I had a friend who was a bodybuilder, and his very similar. So it wasn't one of the big guys, but like a normal, but an amazing.
There's categories
physique.
Now
and
there's categories.
His diet was just. You eat a lot, but you're...
Yeah, it's really different, and you lose energy towards the competition because they're cutting you back, and I'm in a serious diet structure now.
Okay.
But
you look good.
But I found out that there was some studies done, and that's what got me going on this personally, and that is no matter what you're involved in, no matter what stress you're going to get yourself involved in, no matter what life holds, you need a healthy body and a clear mind. And that's one of the things. I said, I'm always promoting healthy body, be active, clear mind, focus, so that you can stand up for what you believe in when the time comes.
Right.
And so all of a sudden, I read all these articles in last April, May, June, that they now say that men and women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s can build muscle. When I was in my 20s, they said once you hit 40, you're going to say, you've all heard it. You're going to lose it. You won't be able to get it back, and you're going to deteriorate, and you're going to shrivel up into a raisin.
And it's hard. That's true.
That's right.
But they say that it's hard to, once you, it's over a certain age, especially once you reach your 70s, if you lose muscle, it is almost impossible, so difficult to get it back.
And but now we know you can. And I wanted to prove that.
Okay.
I wanted to say you can be in better shape if you choose to. So I grant you, I've gone online to Amazon.com to order my abs. Now, my abs are on order, and they should be here before the competition.
I think they strap them on.
Yep. I was
beautiful.
asked if I could wear a T-shirt with the picture on the front, but they won't let me do that.
They won't. Okay.
No. So, but I've inserted, here, take that. I've inserted, see, you take that, you have that baseball in your hand. I could show you my muscles, but they're still asleep in bed because I am 76. I could show you my muscle, but my muscle would be that with a lot of fat on it. No. Okay.
Yeah.
You ready? I'll show you my muscle.
Hold on.
We're going to get
His YouTube numbers are about to go up.
Yep.
Holy
Wow.
cow.
Pretty darn impressive.
You got him up there? Dude.
Hold on, I got to take another shot of this. So I get a good shot. Although I do feel creepy taking a picture of you like this, but it's a good picture.
Wow. He's got a good.
That's darn impressive, Cliff.
What is it? The bicep?
Bicep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tricep. Look, tricep. Tricep line. Lat line.
Lat line.
Somebody check this out on YouTube if you're not watching right now. I'm embarrassed to say
it's a close-up shot on you, by the way, on TV. You're getting a close-up shot.
I'm going to my workout after this, but I've got a trainer, Brian Devins, who owns Upstate Empire, is my coach for posing. You have to go through a lot of processes here to make this happen. My food and structural coach for training is Kevin Conley. And, and then there's people like Bo Tanner. He's just a guy that works out at the gym where I work out at the Fitness Mill. I work out at the Fitness Mill, which has really been nice since they've come in videotaped me and taken some pictures. It's under new management.
So now is the Fitness Mill the one? Is that in? That's not in New York Mills anymore.
No. It's the one.
No,
it's
the Fitness Mill.
And it's not owned by Carbone anymore.
No. It's under new management.
Okay.
And they're doing.
You like it?
Yes, I like what's happening there. And I like the way they've structured it. It lets me get my workouts, and I'm training really hard. I can tell. 16 more days before I compete, go on stage. But I'm doing what I've suggested all the seniors to do. I'm taking a chance.
Yeah.
I'm going to let them critique me. My first division of competition is in with 20, 30, and 40-year-olds, kids.
So you're entering with everybody.
Yeah, the novice division puts me in with everybody.
Wow.
And then the senior, the over the 50 plus, they right now think I may be the only one showing up.
Wow.
That I am the one.
Can I tell you something that I only have a couple more minutes, but I want to just tell you that you are. I know a lot of people who, when they get older, they work out, and sometimes I wonder. Obviously not everybody, but sometimes I wonder if there might be some supplements that might not be too good for you that might be being consumed or injected, and it looks abnormal.
Yeah.
And you look like you look healthy. There's a difference between that and the other. You look healthy.
See, I'm not competing in the mass bodybuilding.
Right.
I'm competing what's called classic physique.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be, symmetry is a big thing. All the muscles are supposed to be in balance with each other. It's all natural.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't expect anything else from you.
The old CB is all natural. I love it.
How do we support you and follow this and keep track and all of that?
Well, I'm not sure. There's the Observer Dispatch are going to do a column or going to do an article on me, but the Sentinel may be trying to follow me along starting this week. For my last 16, 17 days before
where is the competition, and what's the date?
It's in Syracuse.
Okay.
November 4th.
All right.
If you want to, send your key energy to me.
Okay.
November 4th, Saturday morning. If you wake up in time, send your key energy to me. They will do my touch-up painting. They paint my body. Hopefully they'll put abs on, like I said.
Nice.
On them, I'll have them by then. They're there. I just got to find them.
Okay. All right.
But November 4th in the morning, send me some energy. I'm going to be on stage, a lot of judges, a lot of people in the audience watching. I have a whole group. My lovely wife has been extremely supportive.
Okay.
It's been
That'll
crazy.
Be in Syracuse, November 4th.
In Syracuse, Cicero, and then hold right on, I can tell you.
Okay.
And I'll give you some.
Give us a little something to follow
along. I'll give you
along
something to follow up.
Okay.
But it's the. It's going to be. I'm not going to be able to tell you.
Well, listen, you said.
Yeah,
let me do
I will
this.
send
Can you
some.
hang here for a few minutes?
I can hang here.
Yeah.
What are you looking for? The name of the organization?
For you, Bill.
If
please.
you hang, we'll end with you. I want to bring in John Decker right now, and then we'll end with. You'll find out the exact times and everything so we can follow.
Okay.
So it's going to take me 4 or 5 minutes here.
That's fine.
Let me bring in John Decker from Gray TV. He's the chief White House correspondent. John, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. Wow, what a week. What a week.
Wow.
Speaker's race, the president traveling to Israel.
It's unbelievable.
So much. And the president speaking tonight.
Yes.
Prime time from the Oval Office. A lot of things happening here.
What do you think? First of all, our governor heading to Israel, I think, is a waste of money. I cannot and resources. I don't understand why that's even happening. Do you have is there something in your mind based on your years of experience where you can say, well, here's why a governor should go to Israel?
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I could see Governor Hochul going to Israel is if perhaps there are New York residents that are being held hostage by Hamas in Gaza. That perhaps could be,
right.
a reason why she might want to go there. And I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, I know.
But other than that, it's inserting yourself in a situation where you don't need to insert yourself.
Correct. So they have enough time keeping track of and keeping everyone else safe. There's a whole new crew going over there.
Yeah, Lance said this yesterday and today, and I didn't read it either time, but he says New York State has more Jews than any other state or area other than Israel. So I'll just mention that.
I believe that to be true. All right. So, but with that, so you have that going on. You have the walk, sit out, or whatever they call it. They were doing yesterday. The protest yesterday at the Capitol. And then it's a pro-Palestinian protest. You see a lot of them. Obviously, in America, you're seeing more pro-Jewish protests. The president is over there. Let's talk about that. That's even been in question. I do feel there's a great justification for the president of the United States to travel.
Well, the president wanted to go to show his strong support, the strong solidarity that the U.S. has with Israel, and that follows visits that happened just in the past week by not only our Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, but 2 visits in just 1 week by Secretary of State Antony Blinken. The president following that up. Also, he had planned to travel to Jordan as well, the country of Jordan, to meet with King Abdullah, to meet with President al-Sisi of Egypt, the Palestinian Authority leader Mahmoud Abbas. That was canceled, and it was canceled, I think, really prematurely. And the reason I say that, they canceled it because of that attack,
on the
explosion on the hospital in Gaza, and it wasn't even Israel that caused it, according to our own military. So prematurely canceled, and it was a snub, if you ask me, snub to the president that actually provides a lot of aid to each of those entities,
I believe it's
the Palestinian Authority, Egypt, and Jordan.
First time a U.S. president has been snubbed, I believe, is what I heard yesterday. In that scenario is what I'm talking about. Jim Jordan, Speaker of the House, what a mess this has become.
Well, you're right. Especially when you factor in they had round number 2 yesterday. He actually receives fewer votes in round number 2 than in round number 1. So he's not going in the right direction, unlike Kevin McCarthy. You know, Kevin McCarthy, it did take him 15 rounds, but each round he
was
gained
growing.
some votes.
Yeah.
So big difference here. We're going to have round number 3 today. You know, it seems to me it's an exercise in futility. He's not going to get to 217. I think that's pretty clear. And Republicans have to figure out what Plan B is. Plan B is not Jim Jordan. Plan B, you know, nothing against Jim Jordan, but that's not working out. So you have to figure out what will work out.
Do you think there's a round 3?
Well, do I think there's a round 3
for Jim
in terms
Jordan?
of a vote?
Yeah.
I think that's the plan. That could get called off, but you know, it's not a good look. You know, Republicans want to hold on to the House of Representatives, and what are the words we hear about the House being led by Republicans right now? I mean, the words I hear are chaos, dysfunction. You know, that's not something you want when you're trying to hold on to the House in 2024. So they need to get their house in order, so to speak, and they need to figure out who can get to 217. I don't know who that person is, but there's somebody. Certainly within their ranks who can get to 217, I'm sure.
John, we appreciate it as always. We'll do this again next week. Thank you incredibly for your insight. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
John Decker with Great TV. All right, Cliff Crandle has gone through the paperwork.
Yes.
Here we go.
All right, it's in Syracuse at the Civic Center Career Theater. All right, Syracuse Civic Center Career Theater, November 4th. It starts at 9 o'clock.
We're going to follow your story.
I would love to be able to follow it up afterwards. And
post on Facebook, too? You'll put stuff up on Facebook and any of that stuff?
We have some stuff on our American Martial Arts Institute website, the karate school. I'm still teaching karate every night, so I go. But, boy, I'll tell you, between my training in the morning, the posing is a challenge. This is all different now in the last few years. You must hold these muscle poses for 15 to 20 seconds a piece, and there are 7 of them.
I ache when I sit for longer than 15 seconds, so I can't imagine.
I had somebody ask me from one of the news medias, they said, "Aren't you afraid of getting injured?" And I said, "Well, I'm 76. I can get injured sleeping. I may have trouble getting up in the morning because I slept wrong."
That is true. How many times you get out of bed and you have the aches and pains? It's like, what did I do? I don't know what I did last night.
You got that right.
Yeah.
You got that right. Great
All right.
to be here.
Thank you so much, Cliff.
Thank you, Cliff.
And that is November 4th in Syracuse at the Civic Center. Steve Ponte Mazda, creating the ultimate customer experience, continuing to be their number one goal. You know Ricky Z, that's all he thinks about. That is putting people in the best case scenario, their best vehicle, and the best possible deal. They only select the best late model Mazdas for their Mazda certified pre-owned vehicles, offering a 160-point inspection and the balance of the 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And if you need a lower price or payment, let's make your deal on a Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle from the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Steve Ponte, and Cliff has just done a kick. Wow. I'm 50. Remember that? He's 70-something. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive, Yorkville, WIBX, Utica, Rome.
Robots are here, and they want revenge. See the Robot Revenge double feature tonight at Cinema Capitol. The main feature, Ex Machina, the 2015 movie that foreshadows what AI can and will do. Plus the original robot, Maria, from the 1928 movie Metropolis in an original short film. The Robot Revenge double feature with Ex Machina tonight at 7 at Cinema Capitol. For more details, visit RomeCapital.com.
Fall is in the air, and the season for trucks has arrived at Steve Ponte Chevrolet. If you're ready to conquer the changing weather and want a truck that's like new without breaking the bank, then shop Steve Ponte Chevrolet. Test drive a 2021 Chevrolet Trailblazer Active all-wheel drive with only 13,000 miles, or a 2020 Chevrolet Silverado Crew Cab LT four-wheel drive with only 18,000 miles. These are not just any trucks. They're certified pre-owned by GM, ensuring quality and reliability reliability. Plus, when you choose a certified pre-owned vehicle at Steed Ponte Chevy, you'll receive a 6-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty and an additional 1-year bumper-to-bumper limited warranty. Visit us online at SteedPonteChevy.com. Embrace the fall season with a truck from Steed Ponte Chevrolet and find new roads. Steed Ponte Chevrolet, Route 28 in Herkimer. See why it's always easy to do business at Steed Ponte Chevrolet. These trucks won't last long. Offer ends October 31st, 2023.
Mark your calendars. Dark Dining returns on October 21st at the Delta Hotel in downtown Utica. Presented by the Bank of Utica, Dark Dining is a unique event where guests experience a meal using a host of senses other than sight in support of the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. Make a positive impact on the lives of people with vision loss by registering online at cavv.org. Dark Dining is made